Worked too hard today. I guess. Oh, yeah. Okay. Had a power outage, too. I guess my computer was all turned off and shit. Everything was shut down. I didn't get to the office till after 9 o'clock. Had to shower afterwards. I was covered in insulation. You know, a good day.
What you think about when you're born into a fire? Let them burn it out. Sell them to the richest buyer. They wanna let the world decay. They tell us lies and fade away, fade away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. Listen up now, because we're never dropping out. Beat the odds, beat the big house. Our brains are bigger than the doubt. We've been thinking for ourselves, never let the truth fade away. This is bigger than ourselves, we won't let the world burn away, burn away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. To blame, haters face the world's mistakes. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. And we feel betrayed.
I want one of those little mini Japanese trucks. I think they call them K trucks or whatever. K-E-I or yeah, I think that's how you spell it. I want one just to fuck off in. I've been trying to install a bathroom fan and it just turned into a headache. The old one was dragging real bad, and if the fan drags too long, it'll end up melting and possibly setting on fire. So I've been messing with that all day, covered in insulation. Hot, sweaty, wiring's all messed up. Nobody knows. They use the old. So, well, let's roll the intro and I'll tell you about it.
Hey Daddies, it's me, the Linda Binda from TikTok. I wanted to make this video because I wanted to thank you for watching Cold Beer Confessionals with Will Bird. I think that's just incredible. I've watched a few episodes and I'm just like very intrigued. But you know what I'm most intrigued in is Big Daddy's meat stick.
Yeah.
I heard that it's very thick, like a good old German sausage. You know, Linda and her coochie loves that.
I might get one for projects
Never
and
mind.
whatnot.
Let's not go there. Anyways, I hope you have a good show and enjoy it as you can. There's a lot of weird things that go on, especially when it comes from the realm of Linda Bindaland. So, enjoy the show. Thanks for watching. Peace out.
Welcome everybody. I'm Will Bird. This is Cold Beer Confessional and my camera's not on. Thank you for joining us. I guess that's a thing. It's probably turned off. Let me fix that right quick. Hold on just a second. Maybe it's on now. Let's see. We had power outages today. I kind of thought the world was ending today and nobody told me. So when I first left and went to the gas station, like the gas station was 100% packed. Every pump was occupied, right? Not only was it, and this is a gas station. Usually I go there and there's like half the pumps are open. Every pump was occupied. There were 2 or 3 cars waiting at every pump to get gas. And there were some people like backed up in the road waiting to get gas. So I just went in to get a drink. I got gas last night. I went in to get a drink when I was heading to buy some stuff at Lowe's. And I asked the lady, I was like, what's going on? Is there like gas really cheap, or somebody scares somebody and says there's going to be a gas shortage or something? She's like, I don't know. It's weird. Then I went to, the road seemed super busy. Then I went to Lowe's. Lowe's was fucking packed. Lowe's is almost always empty. Like there was probably between 5 and 10 people on each aisle. And usually when I go to Lowe's, you'll probably pass like 3 or 4 aisles that'll have nobody in it, then one person, then 3 or 4. I thought maybe something was going on, but I didn't see anything on the internet. I do want a K-truck. I would definitely slap my logo on the hood and on the doors, drive it around and do projects and shit. I've been looking at them. They're kind of expensive, and some states are outlawing them. So I guess Rhode Island is trying to outlaw them. They're trying to get people to turn back in their registration so they can outlaw them. Georgia outlawed them. Said they, for some reason, like there's so many more things for the DMV to be worried about. They're worried about K-trucks. Like they haul like 800 pounds, and their top speed's like 50 miles an hour. That's what they're worried about. K-trucks. Anyways. Yeah. So, that's what I was talking about. I do want one. I like how I like how they're like kind of like a cab over design. Plus the bed, like all the bed sides let down, so you can load all kinds of stuff in them. I guess a lot of like, I guess they were made for like Japanese like delivery and farms. They're pretty cool. I'll show you what a K-truck is. If you don't know, they're just the Japanese trucks they're now over 25 years old, most of them. So they're really easy to import into the U.S. now. It's these little trucks. They got a little bed on them. All the bed drops down. There's people that's been buying them for years and like modding them and shit. But I just want a regular one. I think it'd be cool. Rattle can that motherfucker. Put my logo on the side of it. Anyways, I was trying to wire. So typically when you wire, oh, look at this. I got an upgrade for you guys. Check this out. Nobody cares about Canada. I was trying to wire a fan. Also, I got a surprise for you guys. Guess what's back? The drawing tablet is 100% back and functioning, so get ready for this. So I was trying to wire a fan, like a bathroom exhaust fan, which is basically just like, oh God, how do I change that? Oh, there we go. 8? Okay. So a bathroom exhaust fan is just like a box. Oh, God. Oh, God. Go back. Oh, God. Just one. Go one. Ah. Now I remember why I stopped using the pen. Okay. Don't click it. So it's just like it's a box with a, I don't know how to draw a fan blade, but it's just a fan, and then it's a duct, like a little duct connector, and then the duct goes out into your roof or something, and it draws in fresh air and then pushes air out through the duct. Okay, that's all it does, to get the steam out, to get the shit smell out, to get whatever. Now, typically in the U.S., we have 110 power. We have 220 as well, but 110 for most things. So you have 3 wires that come in. You have one ground wire and 2 coated wires that are like, so you have hot. You have a ground, and you have neutral. So you would have these wires like run to the fan, right? And they're in sheathing. And then over here, you would have a switch that is just on and off. And you actually might have two switches, right? So you got fan and light. And so what you would do is you take this hot and run two legs off of it down to the switches, right? So you actually have two of these down to the switches, 1, 2. And then when they come back, they would go to the fan and to the lights. And that's it, right? Let's see if I can draw a light bulb. Oop. Kind of. You'd have a fan and go to a light. I'm not very good with a pen. For some reason, whoever built the bathroom at the campground, like the one that's attached to the office, they have like, they use the bathroom fan as a junction box. So when I opened the fan up, we have the box. I need it over here. Why is it over there? If it was over here, I could draw on it better. Uh-oh. Did I unplug it? Is it still working? Yeah. So I had the bathroom box. And then over here is like an outlet. Can I draw that? Oh, that's not going to be too bad. Look at that. Look at the control on that, guys. Couple dots. An outlet, and also another switch, like a vanity switch. So this is like a rocker switch. This is a GFCI outlet. And then we have like a rocker switch, which would be like, dunk, dunk. I don't know why it's jumping like that randomly when I'm doing it. A rocker switch for a light bulb up here. Oh my God, it's jumping so much. What is the accuracy on this thing? Even when I click it, it jumps down there. Look at, what's your jump? You see those jumps? What is it doing? How did I draw a dog? So this is a lot. And then they have over here, they have 3 switches. No, 2 timer switches. So they end up with a big dial on them. They're timers. So instead of running this the right way, they ran power over here, right? So we had one line with 3 lines in it. It has 2 conductors and 1 ground. So 1 line with 3 lines in it. They ran this outlet runs over here. 1 line from the outlet with 3 lines in it. They ran this switch for the vanity over here. So that's 1 line with 3 lines in it. They ran, for some reason, part of this light is ran over here. Oh, it doesn't like being up top, it looks like. That's where I get the random jumps. They ran both of these switches completely independent, each with 1 line with 3 lines in it. This switch over here with 1 line and 3 lines in it. And for some reason, there's a wall here, and then there's another bathroom over here that would have a fan and stuff. For some reason, there's also 2 wires that are feeding power from over here over there. And they both have 3 lines in it. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I had 24 lines crammed into this tiny little box. Had 24 lines crammed into this tiny little box in between where like the fan and the heater is. I couldn't tell what anything, nothing's labeled. Everything's fucking taped together. Wire nuts fall. Everything's on it. It was insane. Like I had like pliers, and I would pull like 1 line out, wiggle it out, test it, mark it, label it, put it over, pull another line out. It was like in a space like this wide, and just fucking crammed up in there. Fucking crammed up in there. And like what was crazy is like trying to move the wires around. The fan wasn't even mounted. The fan was just bigger than the hole they cut in the drywall and just setting up there. It was just insane. Like even if they wanted to do all these connections, all you got to do is buy a little bitty junction box right here. And a junction box is made like you can have like 2 wires come in here, 2 here, 2 here, 2 here, two here, two on every side, right? You can even have one coming in the bottom, one coming in the top. So you get a 3x3, you get a 4x4, you get all these junction boxes and make all the connections here. That way you know that this is just a junction box to make connections. Instead, they crammed it all in here. It was a fucking, like I always, when Mariah pulled up, she was going to Walmart or something. I was just sitting there like staring out into oblivion thinking, what the fuck did I get myself into? Like, what the fuck am I doing here? This is insane. Yeah, I can't, well, watch this, how it jumps at the top. It's not supposed to do that, I don't think. Look at that. You see it on the screen? Watch, if I hold it down. Is that my heartbeat? Right. Get my EKG. How we doing? Is that my pulse? What's it look like, chat? Are we okay? Do I need to take my medicine? What is that? But if I do it here, it doesn't do it. It's only at the edges. Isn't that weird? That's why I drew a dog when I was trying to draw a light bulb. It just kept going down and shit. Huh. Well, now we know that's not very accurate up there. Even though I can draw again. Thank you. Thank you. You're welcome. So so by the end of the day, I think I left at, I stopped working at 8. I had to go take a shower. I had to get ready. I had to do a bunch of other shit. To come here for the office because I was covered. The insulation they got in there is like that old brown shit that's like, it's like chewed up paper, or at least that's what it looks like. Sometimes it'll actually be newspaper and shit. It was like chewed up paper, dark brown. It like just came raining down while I was working on because the fan just goes, and they didn't even have a duct on it. So this fan just like shot out into the insulation just to make it moldy. Because there's so much moisture you take out of a bathroom fan, dude. There's no way. It doesn't have a duct on it. I got to buy and put in a duct and like a dryer vent kind of, and put that together. It was just a mess. I don't know. Very good drawing, though. I will say that. Anyways, what do you guys think? There we go. What else is going on, guys? That's been my day. What about you? We'll get a new one. I'm sure I'll be drawing something else. We'll put a new pad up there. It was just a mess. And then I was just aggravated. And it took all fucking day. I had to go buy the fan. It's a 9x14 fan. It's actually a pretty big fan. Usually you get like an 8x8 or something, like a pretty small fan. It's a 9x14. And couldn't figure out how to get the motherfucker out. Turns out it was just laying in there. Had to replace a faucet. They broke the handle off the faucet. And someone chipped the corner of the toilet tank lid. You know how you have like a tank on the back of your toilet? And then like there's a lid that goes on it. You have to take off if it gets stuck or whatever. Somehow they chipped that. Like I don't know if they were taking the lid off, throwing it around. I don't know how they chipped it. It was very weird. But somebody did a number on the bathroom. It's crazy. Mariah tries to get me to come in and plunge the toilets when they're stuck for some reason, as if that's my job. It's not, by the way. And I never go. But she tries it. Nick Alvear. Nick. Oh, first of all, the best fight at UFC 302 was in the stands. Check this out.
You said you slapped me, didn't you, white boy? Come on, white boy. Come slap me, white boy.
So this is a red-headed ginger white guy calling this kind of Mexican-looking guy a white boy. In case you didn't notice, the guy with red hair that is definitely white is the one screaming white boy.
You said you slapped me, didn't you, white boy? Come on, white boy. Come slap me, white boy. Come on. You white boys screaming, nigga. Hey, slap me, man. Slap me. Stand on business. You white boys screaming, nigga. Say you slap me, man. Slap me. Slap me. Come on. Slap me.
So he's screaming, slap me, and slapping himself. He hit him right there. Oh, shit. I didn't mean to do that. He hit him right there on the hand.
You said you slapped me. Slap me.
He's telling him, chill out, dude. Chill the fuck out. And the guy's going, did you say you'd slap me, white boy? Slap me. Slap me. It's very weird. He touches him again, puts hands on him, pushes his hand out of the way. So both times, like this guy's going to throw the first punch, if you haven't noticed yet. But this guy is the one who's slapping himself, touching that guy, putting hands on him. And the one that throws the first punch is the one that's trying to get him to calm the fuck down. He knows he's about to whip this guy's ass. He's like, you don't want this ass whooping you're fixing to take. So he gets in his face and says, I told you to sit down and shut up. And then we get the haymaker, baby. It's wild that they were up higher than this guy. So they had the benefit of like swinging down on him. And he ends up being 3-on-1 and this dude still whips all their asses. He tries to grab his foot, swinging on him again. There's his buddy. Now everybody's recording. I ain't doing your pussy shit, he says. Then it gets better. In case you missed how that started out, look at this freeze frame. The guy, I don't know if he swings or if he's just trying to get down there to reach him, but he leads with his head, and a boy in a baseball cap does not miss an opportunity. Knocks him the fuck out. He goes flipping. The guy even helps him flip one more row to where you can get him separate from his two friends and starts beating the shit out of him. He's got him by his hair. So the guy he's behind the guy. After he rolls twice, he's behind the guy and he grabs him by his ponytail and he's fucking hitting him in the side of the head. Beating his ass. All his friends trying to get in. Look, he's holding him by the ponytail. Get him! I love when the person running their fucking mouth gets their ass beat. And the other guy's like, calm down, dude. It's not that big a deal. Calm down. Calm down. So his friends try to jump in. They can't do much. Dude's still welling on him. They end up throwing him over this railing, which I guess would be like a drop to the stairs. I don't know, maybe 6-8 feet. No, I guess it'd be 8-10 feet. There's a doorway there. Still welling on him. On him like a swarm of bees. Look at him. And now the guy with red hair wants to talk shit. After they throw him over the railing, he's like, yeah, you better stay down there. Then this guy that broke up the fight, or helped break up the fight here in the pink, you can barely see him. But the guy in orange decides that he wants to swing on him. He thought the guy in the black wife beater. The guy with the orange hair thought he was getting beat up by a whole team of motherfuckers. So when they finally get the one guy off of him, he's like, oh, it must be this guy too, and tries to fight him. Let me back up just a little bit. He tries to fight this guy. The guy's like, stop.
Best fight of the night. Best fight of the night.
Rolled his ass, dude. Grab his dick and twist it. The old dick twister. Oh my God, dude. Oh my God. It's a pretty good fight, to be honest with you. That was decent, right? Not too bad. And then Nick Alvear. Your boy, Nick Alvear. Know him, love him, mostly hate him. Has some new legal filings going on. Which is wild, right? Because in his new legal filings, his lawyers take a shot at Trump. So in this filing, they link to something about Trump, and it says former President Donald Trump's continued influence on plaintiff Phil and his followers is relevant here to the extent that the ex-president engages in a substantially similar rhetorical methodology, sounding in ad hominems and denials. Uh-oh, Nick, I thought you were the guy who was supposed to tell us whether they're good Trump people or bad Trump people. Remember, you're the guy that calls everybody out, right? Kind of weird that your lawyers are taking shots at Trump. What do you mean? Tell me you don't know what they filed without telling me you don't know what they filed. So he tries to compare. We'll just read it. It's down here on page. It's down here on page 15. We can read the whole thing. We'll read to it at least. And outcome defendants Eduardo Nicholas Alvear Gonzalez, a.k.a. Alvear Gonzalez Eduardo Nicholas, a.k.a. Nicholas Alvear, individual defendant, or Mr. Alvear, and Goodline TV LLC, corporate defendant, by and through their counsel, Rothenberg and Campbell, and hereby file their reply brief in support of their motion to dismiss plaintiff's First Amendment amended complaint, arguing as follows. Defendants present their arguments in reply to the substantial positions taken in plaintiff's brief in opposition. Regarding diversity jurisdiction, defendants respond only that this honorable court may question its subject matter jurisdiction at any time during the pendency of an action. So this is kind of a cop-out, right? So feels like, well, I live in Pennsylvania. We're in the Pennsylvania District Court. It has to be federal because the amounts, right? It has to be a federal court. We're in the court where I live, like my district. We're in that federal court, and they came to my house to promote the fucking video. They brought billboards here. They flew airplanes here. They did everything. And like they specifically marketed here. This, I don't care if he lives in Tennessee. We should have court here where he came and marketed and got billboards and all that shit. And Nick's lawyers are basically like, the only thing we're going to say about that is, look, the judge can decide jurisdiction at any time. At any time if they want to. Yeah. And you didn't argue all the other things. Defendants' arguments regarding Rule 12b-1 dismissal were presented in a deliberate order to show the court that should most of the 110 discursive acts be dismissed with prejudice, it would be a legal certainty that any remaining statements would fail to meet the threshold amount in controversy. The following sections more particularly address plaintiff's argument in opposition. This honorable court may properly consider defendants exhibits B through O as they constitute documents referenced in, integral to, or explicitly relied upon in framing plaintiff's First Amendment complaint and or contain facts of which the court may take judicial notice. As a general matter, a district court may not consider matters extraneous to the pleadings when ruling on a motion to dismiss. Rather, the district court should only consider the allegations contained in the complaint, exhibits attached to the complaint, and matters of public record. However, a document integral to or explicitly relied upon in the complaint may be considered without converting the motion to dismiss into one for summary judgment. The rationale underlying this exception is that the primary problem raised by looking to documents outside the complaint, plaintiff's lack of notice, is dissipated, where plaintiff has actual notice and has relied upon the documents in framing the complaint. The rule seeks to prevent situations where plaintiff extracts a defendant's statement outside its full context and inserts the isolated statement into his complaint as defamatory, where the statement, if examined in its full context, would reveal that it bears no defamatory meaning. I don't think this is a good argument, okay? When Phil says, they said I didn't have custody of my kids because I had thoughts about molesting and fucking them. Where's the other context come from? Where is this extra context? If we put it in context, would that be less defamatory? Plaintiff argues that this honorable court cannot consider exhibits D through P attached to defendant's motion to dismiss, as none constitute a criminal case deposition, a letter decision of a government agency, or a published report of an administrative body. Further, plaintiff argues that the court cannot take judicial notice of the fact that plaintiff allegedly admitted to having sexual contact with DeBurgle while DeBurgle was a minor. Defendants disagree. Plaintiff's references to the respective docket entries in the Times Tribune and DeBurgle lawsuits evidence his actual notice of and reliance on said material when framing his First Amendment complaint. Plaintiff's reference to the respective docket entries on the Times Tribune. So Phil's saying the court cannot take judicial notice of, quote, the fact that Phil allegedly admitted to having sexual contact with DeBurgle while DeBurgle was a minor. But Nick's lawyers disagree because Phil references to the respective docket entries of the Times Tribune So he says, like, this is all already under legal. In Phil's filings, he's like, this is already a case, blah, blah, blah. It's ongoing, whatever. So they're saying they can look at stuff that is in that case because he referenced it already. More specifically, Exhibits D through O, each are explicitly integral to or relied upon in the framing of his First Amendment complaint. Plaintiff specifically references these particular documents in his pleadings, relying on defendants' alleged wrongful publications of extracted portions of the Times Tribune lawsuit record, including but not limited to the production of documents, deposition testimony, and other materials, to create the false impression and narrative that plaintiff engaged in sex with a minor. Emphasis added. Furthermore, plaintiff cites to the defendant's documentary film as containing much of the same defamatory material. As a party to both the Times Tribune and Bree lawsuits, plaintiff had actual prior notice of these documents. Moreover, plaintiff appends to his brief portions of the record in those lawsuits while arguing how defendants misconstrued those very same selected portions and unmistakable reliance on Exhibits B through O as integral to framing his tort claims, and for that reason equally indispensable to this court's review. I don't know if this will hold up. So basically, Phil's saying that they're using documents outside their scope that he had no prior notice to, right? If you're going to use a document, or you're going to do this, you're going to do that, enter it into evidence or from discovery or whatever, then the other side has to have notice of it. Now, we're not at that phase yet, but Nick's lawyers are arguing, of course he knows these documents exist because he's in a case right now that these same documents are being used. I don't know if that'll work in court or not. Somebody smarter than me will have to tell you what the law is on that. As argued intra, the 110 discursive acts must be examined each in its full context for the court to properly determine whether plaintiff can recover damages on any of them, including defendants' Exhibits B through O, as explicitly integral to the plaintiff's claims. Therefore, consideration of the respective court records in both lawsuits is appropriate without converting the motion to dismiss into one of summary judgment. I would like to see all these. I would like to read all of these. 110 discursive acts. Let's see. Holding that report by defendant's retained investigator was integral to plaintiff's employees' Title IX claim and may therefore be considered at motion to dismiss phase. That's they're citing cases here. Furthermore, Exhibits D through O may be properly reviewed as judicial records of related cases referenced in plaintiff's First Amendment complaint when considering a motion to dismiss. More case reference. In addition to reviewing the documents referenced in plaintiff's pleadings, do you ever get the feeling that Nick's lawyers, I feel like Phil's lawyers don't do a good job and they seem really dumb sometimes. I feel like Nick's lawyers, when I read their paperwork, I feel like they go out of their way to find the biggest words that they can cram in to the complaint to make them look smarter, or like they know what they're doing. It's like the exact opposite. The two lawyers, it's weird. How could you get such bad law? How could both of them get such bad lawyers? It's like they're seeing who could get the worst lawyer and spend the most. More particularly, without noticing the veracity of the information contained therein, the court may judicially notice undisputed facts about a document's authenticity, like when, where, and how the document was available, to underscore plaintiff's admission that defendants had access to it and relied upon it. By the way, Phil has the upper hand here in this motion to dismiss. Even if you hate him, he has the upper hand here because he's the plaintiff. And a lot of these statements that are being made are going to have to be, just like in Pebble's case, where they had to take what Pebble states as true to see if the case had merit. In this case, they have to accept what Phil says is true to see if it's going to proceed further. Plaintiff's admission that defendants had access to it and relied upon it. Stated differently, the court may judicially notice the existence of these documents without imputing a respective and underlying truth, but rather as evidence that they were publicly available at the time the 110 discursive acts were published. In that regard, the court may verify plaintiff's admission that Mr. Alvear had accessed the information and relied upon the same. B, none of the 110 discursive acts substantiate state law reputational tort claims because they are opinions characterizations true or were not published with subjective awareness of falsity. So again, these 110 statements or acts were either opinions. Some of them were opinions, like I don't like Phil, he's a bad guy, whatever. Those could be opinions, right? I don't think Phil should have custody of his kids. That's another opinion. Characterizations. So you can characterize somebody by their acts. They were true or they were not published. That when they were published, it's not like Nick knew they were false. But some of those, he's going to have a hard time. I know I always go back to the one where Phil doesn't have custody of his kids because he'd fuck them. He should know that those are not true. Phil posts pictures of his kid having with his. Who told him he didn't have custody of his kids? Because that's just not true. And I'm pretty sure Nick should have known that. It's pretty easy to figure out. And there's never been any documentation that would lead him to believe that Phil had any type of fascination with having sex with his own children. That is a very strong, very strange statement to make about someone. District courts may dismiss defamation claims at the motion to dismiss stage if the statements at issue are not capable of defamatory meaning. Of course they can. So if they find, like, you made a statement that was clearly your opinion, like, I don't like this guy. To me, he seems kind of slimy. I wouldn't buy a house from him. If someone sued me over that, they're like, okay, it's his opinion. There's no way that this could be defamatory. He's just saying, to me, I feel like I don't like this guy. Those are opinions that he's allowed to have. A communication is not capable of defamatory meaning if the statement is not reasonably susceptible of a defamatory meaning or does not tend to harm the reputation of another as to lower him in the estimation of the community or to deter third persons from associating or dealing with him. Again, the worst one out there is that Phil doesn't have custody of his kids because the court thinks that he would fuck them. These are obviously have defamatory meaning, and that would definitely harm the reputation. If you didn't know anything about Phil except that he made videos and someone told you, did you know that Phil doesn't have custody of his kids because the court and his wife thinks that Phil might fuck his own children? That would definitely lower the way you feel about Phil, would it not? The estimation of the community or deter third persons from associating with him. I definitely wouldn't associate with him. Pure opinions, which are based on disclosed facts, are absolutely privileged and cannot be defamatory, no matter how derogatory they are. Pure opinions. So if you just have an opinion and it's based on some disclosed fact, not undisclosed, not secret, not something you heard, some secret rumor, but on a disclosed facts are protected no matter what. Mixed opinions, which imply the allegation of undisclosed defamatory facts as basis for the opinion, are actionable. So mixed opinions. So if you have an opinion and you basically base this opinion off some secret thing, some undisclosed secret fact as a basis for your opinion, then those are actionable. Meaning you can take action against them, go to court, whatever. Derogatory characterizations without more are not defamatory. So if you have a derogatory characterization alone, it's not defamatory. The accusation must imply an undisclosed falsehood to be actionable. An undisclosed falsehood to be actionable. What? Okay, whatever. A simple accusation of why do people always take it? Does anybody mention Trump or Biden or anybody? I don't understand. It's like that's all you fucking people think about. A simple accusation of racism is not enough to establish a defamatory meaning, but calling district attorney the David Duke of Chester County could be actionable because it implies that he was unlawfully abusing his power as a district attorney to further racism. So that's a good example. So if you say like, I don't know, maybe he's racist versus he's the David Duke of Chester County, those are two different separate claims. In Pennsylvania, a defendant generally bears the burden of proof when asserting truth as a defense of defamation. In Pennsylvania, a defendant generally bears the burden of proof when asserting truth as a defense to defamation. However, if the statement in question bears on a matter of public concern, or the defendant is a member of the media, First Amendment concerns compel the plaintiff to prove as an element that the alleged defamatory statement is in fact false. So again, if you read this with their name in it, it would say in Pennsylvania, Nick would generally bear the burden of proof when asserting truth as a defense against something he said against Phil. However, if the statement in question bears on a matter of public concern, or Phil is a member of the media, or Nick is a member of the media, First Amendment concerns compel Phil to prove as an element that the alleged defamatory statement is in fact false. We're dealing with the same thing with the Scranton Times case. In a defamation action involving matters of public concern or media, Nick, in a defamation action involving matters of public concern or a media defendant, the plaintiff, Phil, must prove a constitutionally mandated minimum level of fault, which depends on Phil's status as a public or a private figure. Now, we know Phil's a public figure. As a limited purpose public figure, Phil must plead facts sufficient to show actual malice. In Mong versus University of Pennsylvania, this honorable court's sister district granted publisher, author, defendants respective motions to dismiss plaintiff professor's defamation and false light claims, alleging that the defendant's article tortuously harmed plaintiff's reputation by implying serious scientific misconduct by plaintiff. The district court found that the matter involved a public concern. So scientific misconduct would be like faking studies or not doing them right or some shit like that, right? But the district court found that the matter involved a public concern and that the plaintiff was a limited purpose public figure having undertaken a course of conduct that invites attention and general public discussion, even though such attention is neither sought nor desired. So if you take actions that, like, you put stuff on YouTube, or you're a prominent professor, or you're doing these like maybe you do talks at a university, right? You speak at universities. Even though you may not want attention, you're not seeking out attention and you don't want it, you're taking actions that invite public attention. That would make you a public figure in Pennsylvania. Based on these holdings, the court determined that plaintiff's amended complaint failed to sufficiently allege facts evidencing actual malice. More specifically, the court found that the plaintiff failed to plead sufficient facts showing defendants had doubts as to the truth of their statements prior to publishing them. Now, this is where I think Phil kind of has Nick over a barrel. Maybe Nick likes that. I don't know. That's an opinion, by the way. Up until Phil told people to unsubscribe from Good Line TV, there are several statements involving Nick saying, I'm not calling Phil a pedophile because he's not. I don't think Phil is a pedophile. I wouldn't go and say Phil's a pedophile like Democrats are pedophiles. Like, there was so much defense until Phil said unsubscribe from Good Line, and then suddenly he's got to be a pedophile. And he even says, I've read the text. I've been through the court documents. It just sounds like a 15-year-old and a 25-year-old in love. Like, if that doesn't show that he had serious doubts, either one of two things happen. Either he had doubts and did this to harm Phil's reputation. It seems like that. Or two, at the exact same time that Phil decided to tell people to unsubscribe from Good Line TV, Nick miraculously found all the evidence he had never seen before that Phil was a pedophile at the exact same time, like 3 minutes apart in post. One of the two happened. In doing so, the district court called out each paragraph coloring plaintiff's claim that moving defendants had some awareness of the statement's falsity, finding each to be insufficiently specific, consisting of threadbare recitals of the elements of a cause of action supported by mere conclusory statements. While the Mong case is recent, its methodology is well established when dismissing reputational tort claims involving matters of public importance or public figures. Federal courts have uniformly adopted this granular analysis, examining each alleged defamatory statement in context with all relevant pleadings to confirm a plaintiff's ability to clearly and convincingly establish actual malice. Malice will be easy. He talks about how much he hates Phil, how much he wants Phil to fail, how much he wants to see everybody unsubscribe, Phil be broke, lose everything, go to prison. And I honestly think he's probably got him on the knowing that it was false. Actual malice by specifically articulating facts suggesting defendant's subjective awareness of falsity. If a pleading fails this test, dismissal is appropriate. Dismissal is appropriate. A lot of cited cases again. We're about halfway to the Trump thing. Mr. Alvear invites this honorable court to perform the same analysis, examining each discursive act to determine whether plaintiff has sufficiently pled specific facts to establish defamatory meaning. Mr. Alvear's subjective awareness of falsity of the statement at the time of publishing, causation, and actual damages. Should the court conduct such an examination, the court will find dismissal of plaintiff's reputational tort claims, counts 1, 2, 5, and 6, appropriate pursuant to the case cited supra. When considering the first 32 discursive acts regarding plaintiff being a fraud, fraudster, grifter, thief, liar, etc., the defendants invite the court to revisit their initial rhetorical question: is plaintiff an innocent private citizen or a convicted fraud, in quotes? Calling someone a fraud or a liar absent of provable false implication does not instate a defamatory meaning. Is that how you say that? I'm afraid I'm saying it wrong now. I said it too many times. Fucked it up in my head. How do you spell it? Instantiate. That's it. Never mind. I was trying to figure out how to say it. Instantiate. Instantiate. Okay. Does not instantiate defamatory meaning any more than calling someone fake or phony. Citations omitted for some reason. But in the context of this case, plaintiff has pled guilty to the crimen falsi of quite literally fraud and perjury, coupled with the opinionated and otherwise characterized nature of several of these 32 discursive acts. None can be considered defamatory or false. As such, plaintiff's argument that discursive acts naming him fraud, fraudster, grifter, thief, or liar are defamatory because case law suggests such vigorous epithets are capable of defamatory meaning as a matter of law is incomplete. Rather, the court must consider the statement's defamatory meaning in the context of the entire publication as it relates to plaintiff and determine whether the accusation is capable of being objectively proven true or false. More case law. Defendants contend that the 110 discursive acts do not bear a respective defamatory meaning, or, if defamatory, plaintiff is unable to establish that Mr. Alvear subjectively entertained serious doubts as to the truth of the statements. So they're saying none of our statements are defamatory, but if they are, he can't prove that Nick knew they were fake. If this honorable court does not dismiss all of the 110 discursive acts as either lacking a defamatory meaning or verifiably true, then the court must dismiss the remaining acts because it is legally and factually impossible for plaintiff to establish Mr. Alvear's subjective awareness of the discursive act's falsity. No way. This can't be an argument. So if you don't dismiss them all because they're not defamatory or they're true, you must dismiss because it is legally and factually impossible for plaintiff to establish Mr. Alvear's subjective awareness of the discursive act's falsity. So it's impossible, legally impossible to prove that someone knew something was false. Then why would this even be a law? Why would that even be a law, right? If part of the that's so weird. If part of the clause is that if you're a public figure, You have to prove they made it with actual malice, and they may have known it, or they knew it was false or should have known it was false. And it's legally impossible to prove that someone knows that something's false. Then why would that even be written in? You would just basically do away with defamation for public figures. Other than his own words, plaintiff has yet to establish what additional documents, information, materials existed during the time in which 110 discursive acts were purportedly published that strongly suggest any of them are false as they relate to plaintiff allegedly having sex with Bree when she was a minor. Instead, plaintiff attaches his guilty plea colloquy, an official charge, as somehow evidencing the fact that he did not have sex with an underage Bree. Plaintiff then cites Curran versus Philadelphia newspapers and urges the court to examine Mr. Alvear's supposed reckless disregard in the context of several factors, including A, whether the statement was published in the face of verifiable denials and without further investigation or corroboration. So, Phil denied it, and Nick Alvear never went to Phil and said, hey, did you do this? Can you explain it to me? Can you do this? Whatever. B, an absence of any factual basis to support the conclusions. And C, so no factual basis to support it. And C, clear departures from acceptable journalistic procedures. But when applying the Curran factors to this case, it becomes clear that plaintiff's denials were not verifiable and that Mr. Alvear's further investigation and corroboration revealed not an absence of factual basis to support his conclusions, but an excess. The following table shows all information available to Mr. Alvear contemporaneously with the publication of the 110 discursive acts. Sorry, I had to respond to something. Contemporaneously. So when he published these, this is the information available. Chris Kelly's article, PA Real Estate Board Discipline Notice, Plaintiff's Criminal Record, Corruption of Minors Record, Plaintiff's So, listen, if Phil ever sued me, this is what I would go with Phil with. I would say, I can't verify what Phil's saying. Lots of people say they're innocent. But the things that I can verify as being true are these documents here. And if I only had these documents to choose from, I would leave there with the belief that this act did happen. Now, I also don't go out and say crazy off-the-wall shit like Phil's a black hat and Trump knows he's a pedo, or Phil's going to fuck his kids, shit like that, right? I don't do that. These things don't cover him there. Show me one of these documents that says Phil and Carrie don't have custody of their kids because Phil's going to fuck them. And that doesn't work for those. And I know people are like, he's harping on that same one. I've seen the comments. That's the worst one. That's the most off-the-wall one, right? That's the craziest one. So if we're going to mount a defense and we're saying you got to throw them all out, we need to look at the most off-the-wall, the most out-of-pocket one, because that's one. If we're going to throw them all out, has to be one of them, and that's the worst one, I personally think. Chris Kelly's article, PA Real Estate Discipline Board Notice, Plaintiff's Criminal Record, Corruption of Minors Record, Plaintiff's Deposition, Dory Godlewski Deposition, Bree's Affidavits, Sanctions Hearing Transcript, Times Tribune Docket Entries, Bree's Docket Entries, Plaintiff's Time Tribune Lawsuit Filings, I'm sorry. So these are the ones for the truth. Well, Nick's truth. Suggesting truth for what Nick claims is all these. The ones that suggest it may be false are Plaintiff's Time Tribune's lawsuit filings, Plaintiff's Bree lawsuit filings, Plaintiff's social media post. So they're trying to make that, what do they call it, where you where you do the pros and cons. What kind of graph is that called? A T graph? Or a T chart, or a T chart. So they made a little T chart for us. So this would be pedo, not pedo. But that still doesn't cover the other claims he's made. Again, remind me when we get to page 15, that's where we're parking, chat. Dr. Z said it. That's right. I had Dr. Z's podcast to watch. I wonder why he doesn't tell him that he got all his information from me anyways. A quick review of the table shows a clear disparity between the two columns. One side includes information gleaned from at least 8 different entities, including plaintiff, while the other side only comes from one person. Nevertheless, plaintiff insists that his actual guilty plea colloquy and official criminal charge so clearly evidence plaintiff's position that Mr. Alvear's alleged failure to publish them infers that he entertained serious doubts as their falsity of his statements. Plaintiff's argument makes little sense. So what Phil's basically saying is that he could have put the documentary together in a way that says this looks bad, this looks bad, this looks bad, this looks bad. To play devil's advocate, though, Phil claims that his guilty plea colloquy does not say anything about sex. It actually says like text and inappropriate text and contact. So technically it doesn't say like sexual penetration. So he didn't lay them out like that. That's Phil's claim. He should have put them both out there. Neither document reads, plaintiff did not have sex with Bree when she was a minor. Rather, the documents serve as further admissions that plaintiff, an adult, did bad things to Bree, a minor. Taken together with dozens of other documents evidencing plaintiff's inappropriate underage tryst with Bree, actually underscore Mr. Alvear's position. Again, this is the exact stance that I would take in court if Phil came after me, but I've never said those weird out-of-pocket things, right? You can't say, well, Bree said it, even though she retracted it, she said it again. Phil kind of pled guilty to it. We see what the charges say. We see what this says. And none of Phil's stuff says he didn't have sex with a minor. It just says, it's just kind of really vague about it. But again, no one's out here saying Phil can't have custody of his kids because he'd fuck them. Yet plaintiff insists that more discovery is required to determine Mr. Alvear's state of mind, editorial processes, and adherence to journalistic standards. That is unnecessary. Mr. Alvear has been upfront as to his state of mind, what he reviewed, and when. Apparently, they don't know. They don't know, or they're leaving out the fact that he defended Phil for months. Literally. Imagine I sat here and supported Trump for 3 months. And then for some reason, me and Trump got in a fight on Truth Social. And Trump's like, that guy's a scumbag. We're going to call him Fat Vapor Will. And he's a fat vapor. And then I was like, I never liked Trump. He's got all these pedophile charges. He does this, he does that. That would be a weird flip, right? And that's the flip that Nick did. Nick was defending him, banning people from his chat. Banning people from his chat that called out Phil. He says, I've seen the text message. I've read the court documents. Phil is not a pedophile over and 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 over again. Until Phil said, I guess Nick's flip sides, go unsubscribe from him. Then he's like, pedophile! He's a pedophile! He's gonna fuck his kids! Mr. Alvear reviewed the publicly available information as outlined herein and found that information to be more credible than plaintiff's own threadbare denials and hazy challenges to Bree's affidavits. Respectfully, no further discovery is going to reveal any further about Mr. Alvear's state of mind or what specific materials he relied upon prior to allegedly publishing the 110 discursive acts, because nothing else exists suggesting that plaintiff did not have sex with Bree when she was a minor. I don't like this argument. There's no reason to do discovery because you're not going to find anything else anyways. I don't like that argument, but maybe it holds up. The only reason plaintiff wants to move forward with discovery is to continue to cause defendant to pay for their defense of this lawsuit, a fact that plaintiff openly admits. CECF documents numbers 20-1, 20-2, 20-3, and 20-4. Plaintiff's alleged damages are too speculative and unrecoverable as he is unable to trace how many of the 110 discursive acts caused harm. Plaintiff next argues that he has suffered damages by attaching to his brief an affidavit dated May 24th, 2024. As plaintiff raises no additional argument that is not addressed in defendant's initial brief in support, defendants rest and rely on the arguments presented therein and reiterate that plaintiff has failed to sufficiently plead causation, actual damages, or the absence of the constitutional protection privileges relating to counts 3, IIED, and counts 4, intentional interference with contractual relations. As such, he should be dismissed with prejudice. Now, listen. the Scranton Times tried this same thing. Like, oh, he's not, and it didn't work. So I don't know that Nick's case will work here. Like, he didn't present the damage. They tried the same thing. Good on them for trying, but it didn't work. I don't think it'll work here. Plaintiff wants it both ways. On one hand, he needs to be seen as an influential public figure upon whose advice is relied by millions. On the other hand, when convenience suits him, he wants to be seen as an innocent private citizen who, while doing God's work, has been maliciously and grievously harmed by defendants' reckless publications. That class of private citizens and their right to privacy deserves the highest protection from unwarranted threats and intimidating language. But that protection and expectation of privacy becomes diminished when citizens regularly and openly engage in the public on discursive platforms such as television, radio, and social media to discuss popular political, social, economic, and or cultural issues. More case law. This is especially true for those citizens who engage in the more crass and increasingly inflammatory kinds of political speech. In kind, plaintiff's expectation of privacy and protection from the same insightful and often volatile language he utilizes becomes greatly diminished. Stated differently, some of the 110 discursive statements might appear more alarming if plaintiff never took advantage of social media as his bully pulpit. This is another fact plaintiff ignores. He is not some innocent private citizen, forced unwillingly into the public eye, shackled hand to foot. He gladly exploits social media as his public forum, as he rakes in millions of dollars in content and advertising revenue by spreading conspiracy theories to the masses. Far from being upset by some thrown tomatoes, plaintiff instead capitalizes on the confrontations to attract and retain viewership. I do think that Nick's lawyers throw in some flair. I just don't know that the judge wants flair. I feel like when you're doing like these motions, it should be real specific to the point. So like when they're like, oh, because he's a fraud, he's a grifter, he's this, thrown tomatoes kind of deal. I don't know that the flair helps. Maybe it does. I'm not a lawyer. Plaintiff instead capitalizes on these confrontations to attract and retain viewership. By having both profited from and engaged in the mass distribution of propagandized misinformation to hundreds of thousands of viewers, plaintiff aggressively responds to his opposition, whose online anonymity belies both the seriousness of their language and the likelihood of their threats being fulfilled. Plaintiff, a self-described prophet on a holy mission, should expect to receive a certain level of criticism, especially from the largely anonymous online community wherein he operates. But plaintiff amplifies that critical attention through his aggressive and often insulting responses, attacking and threatening those he deems guilty of unfair disparagement for spectacle. As a result, plaintiff's followers usually fall into one of two categories: devoutly engaged or aggressively confrontational. Plaintiff's followers are either devoutly engaged or aggressively confrontational. Defendants fall into the latter category. So Nick falls into the aggressively confrontational. Having been at first critical of plaintiff, and then upon discovery of plaintiff's criminal history of fraud, perjury, and sexual corruption of minors, castigatory and invective. That's not true, though, right? That's not true. He knew before he flipped. He even says, I've read the message, I've seen the court cases. Plaintiff expects his reaction and exploits. Plaintiff expects this reaction and exploits it to his advantage. Most of plaintiff's followers tuning into his regular posts on Rumbler do so anticipating plaintiff's reaction to his most recent drama. With QAnon's debunking and having no new intel to disclose, plaintiff's recent posting consists of long introductory songs, advertisements for pyramid schemes, and dilettantish musings on current events, including his legal tiffs. Effectively, plaintiff's online persona has become a reality television show devolving from holy truther to a family member on the Kardashians. If this is true, then plaintiff's allegations of actual harm become severely diminished. appearing more like the cost of doing business than a legitimate torturous injury. Plaintiff knows this and continues to double down. Now, this is where the note comes in. So it references 8. Now, 8 was up here where they say defendants fall into later category, having been first critical of plaintiff and then, upon discovery of plaintiff's criminal history of fraud, perjury, and sexual corruption of minors, castigatory and invective. 8. Then it says this. Former President Donald Trump's continued influence on plaintiff and his followers is relevant here to the extent that the ex-president engages in substantially similar rhetorical methodology sounding in ad hominems and denials. Ad hominems and denials. An ad hominem is when you attack the person instead of attacking what they're actually saying or the point they make. You attack them. So someone's like, I don't agree with you on this. If you look over here at this, it seems to say this law says the exact opposite of what you're saying. You're like, all right, fatty. So they're basically saying Trump doesn't engage with the actual context. Instead, he attacks the person, right? So here's an ad hominem examples. A student says, hey, Professor Moore, we shouldn't have to read this book by Freud. Everyone knows he used cocaine, right? So the book's no good because this guy used cocaine. Socrates' arguments about the human excellence are rubbish. What could a man as ugly as he know about human excellence? So this person's ugly, so they can't know anything about being excellent. Yeah, I think everyone's opinion counts on moral matters like that, but that Leela sleeps around with anything. I know of at least one marriage she's broken up, so why should her opinion count on anything, much less morality? Again, attacking the person, not the point. And then denials, just deny everything, right? Ad homs and denials. It's very weird that Nick Alvear is the arbiter of who is actually in the Trump movement and who isn't, right? He's talking about this. This is how we know they're fake agents. They're implanted into the movement, and they're fake. They don't support Trump. They don't like Trump. They're just here to drive you away, to do this, to sow dissent. And then his own lawyers are taking shots at Trump in his court filings. They're taking shots at Trump. I don't get it. Nick is innocent because of Trump or something. I don't think I can explain it more elementary than that. I literally said what ad hominem and denial is. They're saying Phil engages in ad homs and denials like Trump. I don't know how to plane that down anymore. In response to 110 Discursive Act, plaintiffs lash back, publishing dozens of posts attacking defendant's credibility. The week after filing his complaint, plaintiff released his own documentary film criticizing defendant's documentary while defending his theory of the case in "See, I Can Do This Too" fashion. After defendants filed their motion to dismiss, plaintiff played armchair expert on social media, summarizing the filing while providing legal commentary. So long as it invites more viewership, plaintiff has no compunction. I don't know why I can't say anything. Compunction speaking about his lawsuits on social media. Within this universe, plaintiff's articulation of damages is plainly unconvincing. His stated injuries are indistinct, unclear, solely supported by his testimony and allegedly occurring within the past 4 years, a time frame wherein plaintiff commits 2 other lawsuits, inadvertently outing his entire criminal record, spurring the publication of dozens of articles citing his criminal history, which were then reposted ad infinitum across the internet. Admits that hurricane of information, plaintiff cannot show it was defendant's publications that, more likely than not, caused the injuries he described. So there's so many of these other. I just explained it. I can't explain it anymore. I just don't get the reason or purpose for mentioning Trump. I can't explain it anymore. Phil covers Trump. His belief is about QAnon and Trump. They mentioned that. Nick's lawyers say, just like Trump, Phil uses ad hominem attacks and denials. I can't explain it any more than that. If I said Trump has orange hair, Phil has orange hair, would you be like, why are they talking about Trump? So Trump's hair is orange, so Nick is innocent? No. They're saying, just like Trump, Phil uses ad homs and denials. It's a weird shot at Trump for no reason, but they still stuck it in there to compare Phil and his engagement with people and Trump and his engagement with people. So they're basically saying here in this last paragraph I read that these articles have been published and republished so many times. How can you prove it was Nick's video and not the Rolling Stones article that's been published 5,000 times again and again and again and again and again and again and again that caused any of this injury? Dismissal of plaintiff's state law tort claim should be with prejudice, as amendment would be futile or inequitable. When a court grants a motion to dismiss, the court must permit a curative amendment unless such an amendment would be inequitable or futile. So when you dismiss something, when a case is dismissed by the court, it should always be in a way that the case could be fixed and brought back. So let's say you don't put something right in your initial filing, and I have to dismiss it. I'm going to dismiss it without prejudice, and I might even, man-to-man while we're talking, say, hey, you can add this, refile it, and then it'll be correct. Or you filed in the wrong court. Or you didn't include, we're telling you the reason we're dismissing this is because you didn't include these 3 tenets of what's required. And it should always be like that. It should always be curative. A curative amendment. Some way that you can fix your lawsuit and refile. Unless it would be inequitable, so it wouldn't be fair to the person you're trying to sue or the people as a whole or the county or whatever, or it would be futile. You can't keep bringing this case. Nothing's going to change. It'll be futile, right? There's no sense in doing it. And they're saying it's inequitable or futile is their claim. An amendment is inequitable where there is undue delay, bad faith, dilatory motive, or unfair prejudice. Moreover, amendment is futile when an amendment complaint would fail to state a claim upon which relief could be granted. Amendment is properly deemed futile where, in the pleadings relied upon this district, in the pleadings relied upon by the district court, a plaintiff admits or references information showing A, the truth of an allegedly defamatory statement, B, truth as a defense is argued in the defendant's motion to dismiss or brief, and plaintiff's burden showing of actual malice. I didn't say it was no one's saying it's a good argument. No one's saying that's the best argument that's been made today. Trump is just like Phil, and that'll win this case. It's just an argument they put in there. No one's claiming it's a good one, or that it was a good idea, or that it'll work well in court, or that it's relatable and people will understand it. It's just in there. A plaintiff admits or references information showing the truth of an allegedly defamatory statement. Truth as a defense is argued in the defendant's motion to dismiss or brief, and plaintiff's burden includes showing actual malice. In the instant case, defendants have asserted the defense of both privilege and truth and reassert each herein. After this honorable court conducts the actual malice analysis district courts normally conduct in cases involving a public figure or matters of public concern, defendants contend that any remaining 110 discursive acts found to bear defamatory meaning should be dismissed because it's legally and factually impossible for a plaintiff to clearly and convincingly establish Mr. Alvell's subject awareness of falsity. I think this is something that has to be proven in court. I don't think a lawyer... So they're saying, listen, we think that most of these should be dismissed because they're not defamatory. But if the court decides some of them could be defamatory, you have to throw the rest of them out because Phil could never, ever... It's impossible for him to prove actual malice or the falsity claim. But I don't think that's for lawyers to decide, right? Not this early. not this early in the case, like it just started. That's either for the judge and the jury to decide later on in the case, or for Phil to prove before we go through discovery or something. This is like me making 10 claims, and I say, well, 5 of them is defamatory, and you'll never, ever, ever, ever be able to prove that the other ones I was lying. Well, I don't know. That's why we're going to court. It just seems preemptive to dismiss them this way. But again, I could be wrong. I'm not a lawyer. Subjective awareness of falsity held contemporaneously at the time of their respective publication. If plaintiff cannot articulate particular facts showing the falsity of these statements existing contemporaneously with their respective publications at the same time it was published, then his claim must be dismissed without opportunity to amend. Plaintiff's denials are not enough. Absent available independent evidence verifying falsity of the 110 discursive acts when published, plaintiff is unable to establish actual malice, and his claims must be dismissed as a matter of law. Frankly, if plaintiff hasn't been able to conjure up that important evidence by now, with 3 civil lawsuits pending, no amount of discovery is going to change that game in his favor. But this actually hurts them, because all the other lawsuits went on through, right? The other lawsuits didn't get thrown out immediately because Phil can't prove actual malice. They went on through to the next stages. But now here they're claiming, like, you should throw this out on actual malice because he got 2 other lawsuits he didn't prove it in either yet. Yeah, but they didn't throw them out right at the start, like a motion to dismiss. They're not doing that. The parties will be right back here before this honorable court on motions for judgment on the pleadings or summary judgment. As such, leave to amend would be futile. Finally, plaintiff has approached this lawsuit as he has the Times Tribune and Bree lawsuits with an improper motive and in bad faith. Plaintiff admits to filing this lawsuit as retaliation for defendant's actions done to protect his reputation and to run up defendant's legal bills in his prosecution. Plaintiff consistently speaks about his lawsuits on Rumbler. Why do they keep misspelling Rumble? Do they think it's like Tumblr? Like Tumblr doesn't have an E and has an R on the end of it, right? Tumblr or something like that. Why do they keep calling it Rumbler? And other social media platforms, even placing figurines in the background of his webcast depicting Mr. Alvear and nicknamed in degradation. Okay. Don't be mean to him. Got it? Whatever you say, boss. What is this? Oh. Collectively, these sophomoric actions underscore plaintiff's true motives in prosecuting these cases and further color the question defendants pose in its initial brief. Is plaintiff an innocent private citizen, or is he something else? Signed, dated. So no. Oh no. I hope they both. Can they both lose this case somehow? Can they both lose the case? Yeah, I know what it's for. We've watched Phil's streams. I was just saying it's silly to even, like, are we sure that that's Nick Alvear? It could be any Nick. Could be any Nick Alvear. Could be any lion. Seems kind of weird, though. Either way, I think it's a weird shot at Trump, especially considering that it's supposed to be Nick, the guy who's supposed to be in charge of telling us that Flynn's a double agent, he's been replaced, and that Mike Gill guy, and Nick tries to tell us that General Flynn's never been mentioned in the Q drops. Not that I buy into any of that bullshit. It's just funny that he's wrong about everything. Oral arguments. United States District Court, Middle District, Pennsylvania, Philip Galuski versus Eduardo Nicholas Alvear Gonzalez, a.k.a. Alvear Gonzalez, Eduardo Nicholas, a.k.a. Nicholas Alvear, a.k.a. and Goodline TV, LLC. And now comes defendants, all those people, by and through the counsel, Rothenberg County, hereby move for this honorable court to schedule oral argument on their motion to dismiss plaintiff's First Amendment complaint pursuant to Local Rule 7.9, averring as follows. On April 25th, 2024, plaintiff filed his First Amendment complaint in the instant matter wherein he attaches several exhibits purportedly showing the volume of wrongful conduct on behalf of defendants. See ECF Doc number 22, generally. I wonder if we can do this. Hold on. I can't remember what the thing for the website is. Search IQS. Okay. ECF document number 2022. Search records as a guest. Damn, there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 of these are undeliverable mail. Service discontinuance. Proposed order 5.8, 5.8. A lot of these are from 5.8. Undeliverable mail. I wanted to go back and grab the one that is all the is it in the main complaint? Is that where it's at? Or is it the First Amendment complaint? There's a bunch of exhibits, certificate of service, proposed order, motion, proposed order. They don't do a good job at telling you what these things actually are. Anyways, let's read the rest of this. On May 10th, 2024, defendants through its undersigned counsel timely filed their motion to dismiss plaintiff's First Amendment complaint in whole or in part, and if granted, in part, motion to dismiss remaining claims for lack of jurisdiction and a brief in support thereof, collectively as motion to dismiss. Defendant's motion to dismiss seeks dismissal of all or part of plaintiff's First Amendment complaint for failure to state claims upon which relief can be granted pursuant to Federal Rule of Civil Procedures 12b-6, based on the ostensibly wrongful publications of 110 statements by defendants purportedly causes of injury. Plaintiff see ECF Doc 26-1. 22. Additionally, should this honorable court dismiss less than all claims contained in plaintiff's First Amendment complaint, defendants seek dismissal of any remaining claims for lack of subject matter jurisdiction pursuant to Federal Rule of Civil Procedure 12b-1. On May 24th, 2024, plaintiff timely filed his brief in opposition to defendant's motion to dismiss pursuant to Local Rule 7.6. May 30th, 2024, defendants timely filed their brief in reply in support of motion to dismiss plaintiff's First Amendment complaint pursuant to Local Rule 7.7. Local Rules of Civil Procedure 7.9 of the Middle District of Pennsylvania states, promptly upon the expiration of the time for filing of all briefs in support or in opposition to a motion, the judge to whom the action has been assigned may order oral arguments at such time and place as the judge shall direct, either in open court or in chambers. The judge, in his or her discretion, may grant oral arguments sua sponta, or as the request of either or both parties, or at the request of either or both parties. Emphasis added. Oral arguments on a motion to dismiss is warranted when argument would significantly aid the court in ruling on the motion, especially if the motion is complex and potentially dispositive of several or all of parties' causes of actions. The time for filing all briefs addressing defendant's motion to dismiss has expired. In the instant matter, defendants contend that oral argument in their motion to dismiss plaintiff's First Amendment complaint would significantly aid this honorable court in determining whether, God, I hope it's a transcript, in determining whether and to what extent any of the purportedly wrongful 110 discursive acts fails to state claim upon which relief can be granted, Oral arguments on defendant's motion to dismiss will permit the parties to highlight, demonstrate, and otherwise direct the court's attention to specific evidence and appropriate precedent that may support or refute a claim's disposition. Additionally, granting defendant's request herein will provide plaintiff with an additional due process safeguard should this honorable court decide to convert the motion to dismiss into a motion for summary judgment pursuant to Rule 12D, permitting a plaintiff a temporal window through which he may argue additional evidence substantiating his position or otherwise rebutting defendant's arguments. On May 22nd, 2024, undersigned counsel emailed counsel for plaintiff a copy of the instant motion seeking concurrence and indicating that it would be assumed that plaintiff concurred only to the relief requested and not to the individual allegations if no objection was received by May 30th, 2024, no objection was received as the date of this filing. Only to the relief requested. For all the reasons cited above, defendants respectfully request this honorable court issue an order scheduling oral arguments. So I guess they didn't object to the oral arguments on their motion to dismiss at a date, place, and time convenient for parties, their respective counsel, and the court. Wherefore, defendants Eduardo Nicholas Alvira Gonzalez, a.k.a. Alvira Gonzalez, Eduardo Nicholas. Do they have to keep doing this? All the names. Nicholas Alvira, Goodline TV LLC, by and through their counsel, Rothenberg and Campbell, respectfully move that this honorable court issue an order granting their motion and scheduling a same for a date, time, place convenient to all parties, with any restrictions reasonably contoured in time and manner. Certificate requested. Certificate occurrence and requested. I, Ron P. Campbell, Esquire, on behalf of defendants, do hereby certify that I sought concurrence in defendant's motion to schedule an oral argument on their motion to dismiss plaintiff's First Amendment complaint by email on May 22nd to plaintiff's counsel Timothy M. Coleman, Esquire, and after being noticed that failure to object would result in defendant's assumption that plaintiff concurs only in the relief requested, having received no objection, assume the plaintiff concurs only in the relief requested. So they're basically saying, I sent an email saying I want oral arguments. If you don't send anything back, I'm going to assume you want oral arguments too, or you're not objecting to them. And there's the order they already plug in for them. What are the discursive acts? That's what I want to know. Have we already had those before? Have we already seen them? The 110 discursive acts. That was all about serving him, right? About him being served. So I don't think that's got it in there. Oh no. Took your best shot. I'm not destroying myself. I'm destroying you and any idea that you ever existed. You're going to jail. Oh no, Phil. Oh no. Phil, no. No, Phil. No. Honestly, and I'm not being arrogant here when I say this, I don't know why anyone would want to fuck with me. I have enough money to keep you guys tied up in lawsuits for the rest of your miserable lives, and I have enough money to make your social media life and presence obsolete. Phil, no. Then he starts being a fucking goddamn court reporter and opinion pieces. Oh God. All right, there's that one. I think that's the one I just opened. 410. This is what, 425? Parties, jurisdiction. I was just curious to see the 110, whatever. I can't remember them all. Did they lay them out and count them? 110 of them? 110 discursive acts. Exhibit A. I'm sure we probably read through them and my memory just sucks, but text messages, Exhibit G. You have been sued in court. Preliminary statement. Okay, so this is the complaint against the Scranton Times, right? Yes. That's a pretty long one. Jesus Christ. Scranton Times complaint. The Scranton Times been around forever. That's the article. That's more Nick Alvear shit. It's time to take action. Template for how to report Phil. Extraordinary claims. Okay, that's his little slideshow, right? His little slideshow he did. I remember doing that. I think I can rotate these, can I? Yeah, I can. But I don't think we'll need to when we get on down. I guess we could for now. Rotate clockwise. Boom. Text message. More slides. Deep dives into Phil. When someone unconsciously attributes their thoughts, feelings, or behaviors to another person. So Phil's projecting. Phil accuses Nick and others as pretenders, misrepresenting facts, showing how true, stating we would be in jail, lose everything. Newsflash, Phil's past of pedophilia has him in court. He's wasting money and losing both Scranton and Bree. There would be no trial with Scranton. The case would be dismissed. You are projection onto everyone. You are projection onto everyone. Nick doesn't have the strongest grasp on the English language. This girl is everything that is wrong with our current society, and I will single-handedly put an end to her charade. Bree had recently been expelled from Lackawanna College and attempting to lure one of her male professors into a relationship with her. She knew he was married and proceeded anyway. I don't have any whatsoever, none, zero evidence to back this up except for Phil saying this. She knew he was married and proceeded anyway. When she was told to stop by the professor, she continued. This caused the professor to file a complaint with the college, and Bree ultimately was expelled for her conduct. Hearing of this, Bree had told several friends about the situation, but they had said she found a way out. But that she had found a way out. This way out turned out to be an affidavit in Godlewski's Scranton Times case. Tim Hinton, lawyer for the Scranton Times, allegedly, according to Bree, had promised Bree to help her in her expulsion from Lackawanna College. This seems crazy here. In exchange for affidavit against me, Bree accepted a quid pro quo. Bree accepted the quid pro quo. Now, Phil claimed that he was going to prove quid pro quo. I think he even have it in some of his filings, but he never has. The help never happened. To this day, Bree has not graduated from Lackawanna College, despite her 4-year tenure with the school. She was duped. Tenure is what I was trying to say, and I kept saying tenure. She was duped. My legal team has evidence to support everything that was said above, which will be introduced to the court when the time is right. Everything's always when the time is right. It's weird, though, that discovery's over. And it still hasn't been submitted, huh? That's what's true. Alvear would go to any lengths to bend the truth by misquoting, providing misdocumented evidence, providing selective evidence, and name-calling and personal jabs. That stuff doesn't work in court. I'm going to eat your lunch and spit it right back in your face. Ariel roast Phil. Ariel. If Ariel roast Phil, look, what's going? If Ariel roast Phil, got to be real. Everybody respects Ariel. Lynn Wood roast Phil. Charlie Ward cancels on Phil. Lie 1, they had sex. Exposing Phil Godlewski Part 2. Lie 2, he is a good husband and a Christian man. Photo he sent to another one. Average item under here. People are waking up. Inflated numbers, no receipts. 500 million. $500 million. That's right. Gold quiz. That's a bad one to pick inflated numbers on. You should have done his viewership numbers. Phil is doing damage control. So I find it really funny that I left a comment on Philomena's May 15th live on Rumble for 8 months. No one replied or even liked a comment. There was 2.5 comments, 2.5 thousand comments on that live. And last night he replied twice to my one comment. Also, I reached out to Phil regarding my own situation with my Jesuit ex. On 12/11/21, I sent him an email with proof like he requested. He ghosted me, and I never got an email back nor a message reply. Well, since I joined this group and started letting out bits and pieces of that situation, presto, messages became alive. He would like to talk about it. There's nothing to talk about because I handled it on my own. I did it without his help or any of the white hats. Even when my ex was magically released, when the judges said no to release and put my life back in danger. Shortly after I sent Phil all court documents. Fuck you, Phil. I don't need you or your talk. Her Jesuit husband was coming after her. His criminal record shows statutory sexual assault. Waived for court, though. It says waived for... I don't know if that's a... This is just a background check you run. They're often inaccurate. What are all these? Then why should we believe you now? Cut the shit, Phil. Answer, where are we on Brunson? The Supreme Court, you are so full of crap. And please don't tell us about med beds and other ways you grift. I'm starting to think you are you are all traitor. Oh, no. I thought military is the only way. Was the idea since Q said it in November 2017. Disinformation, I'm not buying it. I agree. This seems like disinformation. I'm on the fence with that one. Well, we always knew Congress was the only way. Unless military is the only way. Except when the Supreme Court already decided it, you know. It's hard. It's hard to get there. He thinks he's a good person. He mocks his audience and gets aggressive with them. Rumble live views. He has far less views on Rumble than he says. Hi. Hi there. This is from Rumble. I got this kind of the same email. A view is counted when your video appears on a page and user is browsing. But unless the user clicks on your video to play it, the monetized ad doesn't play either. The user has not engaged the video and has not watched the ad associated with it. A play is what we want. This means the user has watched the video. This translates into revenue if the video is monetized. All views are counted regardless of whether they are Rumble subscribers or not. Whether they have an account or not, they're counted. This and many other answers can be found in our FAQ. Please read this. Let's do that. Rumble video FAQ. It's kind of weird that Phil is the one who submitted this slideshow, because not a lot of it makes him look pretty bad, but whatever. Inflated Rumble numbers again. Rumble's top 10 streams of 2023. Wait, there isn't one there that says almost 50 million? There isn't one there that says almost 50 million or whatever? That's weird. Almost 50 million live viewers. I think I've seen it before. It says, like, what is CPM? What is all that shit? But I don't know. I don't remember where the video was. What is CPM on Rumble? Okay. Let's see. Deep dive, inflated Rumble numbers again. Jesus Christ. Top streamer Steven Crowder surpasses 7.5 million in subscription payments within 5 months. He can't be the top if other people are the top, I guess. Isn't he the leader of the 5? Who knows? Let's get through all these. Mandarin. When he tried to speak Mandarin, that was pretty funny. Rotate counterclockwise. True story, guys. Don't be afraid to call Philip Godlewski a pedo. That's exactly what he is. I've been calling him that for months now, and I've yet to be served. He's no threat. He's all a big bag of lies. He's a fucking child molesting pedo, and he's getting roasted by everyone at the moment. The law has caught up with him. Damn. What is... Hold on. I don't know. If you want to get real technical, what is child molestation? If you want to get real technical on what it is. Lions Den has moved on from talking about low-life loser pedophile. We did enough damage, and he's already over. The film's out. Half his people are gone. His income was completely shattered. We did well. Mainly we understood focusing on his lies and grifts doesn't serve us. At some point, you need to choose how you want to spend your precious time. Isn't it weird how Nick gathered all these people together and then banned them all? And they still try to defend him for some unknown reason. Wow, we are dealing with a serious, evil, kid-grooming pedophile here. Well, someone better check up on his kids. Ooh, somebody sent it to Scranton Police Department. This is a video about a resident in your county. You may want to take a look and share. The Phil Godlewski story. Protect the children. Ooh. That is rough. I worry about the children that live under his roof, whether they're actually his or not. I wouldn't put it past Phil to touch them inappropriately, molest them, and corrupt their morals. Answer, once a pedo, always a pedo. What we do now can help those kids keep spreading awareness of that sick fuck. Ooh, that was on a Q&A? Damn, dude. In response to Phyllis in the Lion's Den, who asked, why are you doing this? And a response from Lion Anon. Gave out his date of birth. God, Nick has some really, really, really bad takes that probably went too far. And that's what a court system's for. Yeah, they might throw out a lot of this stuff and be like, well, you know, he thought you did have sex with Bree and you can't prove you didn't. Kind of that's thrown out or whatever. But the stuff with his own kids, too far. So I would like to allegedly say, allegedly, I think Carrie's got new tits. I'm not sure. And do not call them melons. You will be taken to prison. That's my creation right there. You're welcome. That's my creation. This is where it says that it's charge number 7 originally, and it says to wit, defendant Godlewski did engage in sexual intercourse with a minor child victim under the age of 16 years. And then if you go down here on the one that he pled to, it says that it's now charge number 1, but it was originally charge number 7, which makes you go back and read charge number 7, and it says to wit. I'm basically famous, yeah. Might as well be. Huh? Phil Godlewski pled guilty for corrupting a minor. In this case, found a text record from his victim's phone. Phil was incredibly filthy and nasty and fucked her in many vacant homes for sale. He was doing real estate back then. Pedophile definition, someone sexually attracted to minors or children. Phil pled guilty to corrupting a minor. Phil Godlewski is a pedophile. I repeat, the grifter QAnon wannabe Phil Godlewski is a pedo. Prove me wrong. I'll wait. That was a Nick Alvear post. Damn. Dr. Z, let's see some of these. Dr. Z's got some hot takes too. Nick at Goodline TV is a good dude. Anyone who would believe pedo Fildo over him is more retarded than a quintuple boosted Biden supporter. Facts. Listen to this song about pedophile. Anyone who as an adult takes advantage of a minor for sex needs to get their balls chopped off. Something tells me Phil had that happen already. Okay. 2, Phil Godlewski and all his faggy follower brainwashed retards. This will live on the interwebs forever. You can stick your ensuing cease and desist right up your poop chute. He's such a child. We have not yet begun to mock. They told that Dr. Z famously said, I blocked all of Will's followers because they're probably just all Will. He doesn't have any followers, but I'm not blocking him. Never. I've just begun to attack him. The next day I was blocked. One of these is legitimate evidence, the defamation case against Phil Godlewski for lying about a minor he fucked. Which one do you think was submitted as actual evidence from Phil's cell phone records? Here's a clue. It's the one that says Bree 15. We just pulled off, and then it says show more. He didn't get the show more. You can't spell pedophile without spelling Phil. Phil's a pedo. That's not defamation because... Oh, God, dude. Phil's a pedo. That's not defamation because it's true. Read his text messages to a minor. It's literally months' worth of convo between them. The evidence is 100% genuine cell phone records of Phil. He is shown as manipulative, obsessed, and a scumbag and a narcissist in them. There are multiple times they discuss sex they had, and he has a drug-like addiction to her. He even hits on her friend, who is a minor, and gets caught doing so. You know why Phil hasn't sued me? Oh, that didn't age well, did it? Because when I call him a pedophile piece of shit, he will have to prove in court he isn't. He threatens all day and night and hasn't done anything of action. He just talks. I haven't been served. These text messages are very telling. He's a fucking... By the way, Nick had read these text messages before when he was defending Phil as well. He said, I've read all the texts. I've seen the court cases. He just talks. These text messages are very telling. He's a fucking pedophile, and unlike some weak Chaz folk out there, I don't buckle to a lawsuit threat, especially when Phil has threatened 30 truthers with the same lawsuit. If he sues me, the past will come out even more in that case. This is why he hasn't done shit and won't do a thing but bark like a chihuahua. Didn't age well. Didn't age well. Oh, I did it the wrong way. Let's go. Going through all the pedo conman evidence against at Goodline TV. Again, with at Goodline TV and Scriptkeeper 17 to get ready for the show tonight. I'll use Phil's words. It's way worse than I thought. Mark my words, he'll never recover from this. Yes, an open secret takes a stand. Convicted pedophile Phil Godlewski. We absolutely destroyed every lamestream narrative from that pedo grifting maniac. Way to go, guys. This is a masterclass in how to dismantle a pedophile piece of trash. It was an honor to be a part of it. Thank you for all those who came before us, who have been calling him out for years. His game is finished. He'll never recover. Never! When pedophil's defamation case goes against his favor, what lie will he make up then? The cabal has it out for him. When Bree wins her case against him, what will he say? Nick paid off the courts? Phil, you are being investigated for fraudulent crimes, which violates your probation. Guess what's around the corner for Phil, everyone? Serious jail time. 2024 will be remembered as the year we watched the pedo get what he deserved. The entire truth community can't ignore this anymore. When people are committing suicide based on his lies, that's when we no longer allow it. Phil Godlewski, he didn't even spell it right. Plead guilty for corrupting a minor. In this case, found text message. Phil was incredibly filthy, nasty, and fucked her in many vacant homes. Oh. Phildo Faggins is the Hunter Biden of the truthers. Pass it on. Pedophile is threatening, laugh out loud. He will have to sue all of us. Pedophile is panicking like Hunter. New Exhibit 2. Phil pleads guilty to 8 charges, including sexual assault. He convinces minor to not testify. Phil then retracts guilty plea. He's given corruption of minors charge to plead to. Megan's Law passed just shortly after, so he didn't have to register. This just dropped tonight. Scranton Times delivers their evidence in the case against pedophile. 121 pages in a motion for summary judgment. In it shows Phil admitting why he had sex with her on multiple occasions. His answer, it was good sex. Well, that's kind of dishonest. He was talking about, when he says it was good sex, he was talking about when she was an adult. They say on a full moon he comes out thirsty for minors. Want to know what a grifter looks like? Either we're doing a really good job exposing him or he's falling behind on ordering more paid followers. He drops 40,000 followers in one day. Nothing you do scares me, Phildo, a.k.a. grifting pedo maniac. The boys are back. Phildo Night this live Saturday at 7 p.m. The mocking will continue until morale improves. Direct links will be posted Friday night or Saturday morning. We're going to do this every Saturday until he stops scamming old ladies and abusing young ones. Unlawful lawsuits filed in the wrong jurisdiction by limp dick F slurs will not stop us. So I say this again, Phil Godlewski, sue me, you fucking pussy. I dare you. I dare you. For the record, oh man. For the record, Phil fucked a 15-year-old. Kimberly was asking. Phil's literally the most disgusting pedo piece of shit to have ever touched the firmament. He's finished. We'll continue to we will continue to emotional beat the shit out of his lying retarded bowel movement until he quits. He has 2 options remaining: go to jail or run. We know that pussies always run. I bet Phildo uses this for all the emotional damage pedo hunters have delivered and for the physical damage from his pervert swinger parties. You know, Carrie pegs him allegedly. Wait till Phildo sees the billboard campaign we're working on for Scranton. Godlewski's a fucking pedo. I haven't been served. He's all a show. He's the biggest pussy on earth. Scranton Times owned him. Let's rub this in Phil's face. School car wash at 14. This would be normal behavior for a coach if you hadn't fucked her months later. Note from Anonymous. They say a sexual offender has more than 100 victims before they are caught. I should know. I'm a therapist who works with kiddos. Yeah, you should know, I guess. Thank you for everyone who donated. This will be known ultimately as the ultimately troll of the century. Yep. This is the ultimately troll of the century. This isn't, I don't know. Head on over to at philthepedo.com and subscribe to our newsletter for updates on the film release date details. I bet some serious amount of money he's tied to child sex trafficking rings in Lahaina and Lake Havasu. Can you defend that in court? That you bet that he's tied to sex trafficking rings? The more you learn about the child sex trafficking in those 2 spots, the more dots that connect. Remember Phil text Bree he would kill a puppy for $10 million? Look, I would kill a puppy for $10 million. Are you all fucking stupid? I'd look it in the eyes. I'd kill a whole goddamn litter. I'd kill your puppy for $10 million. I'd fucking sneak in the middle of the night, cut a hole in your fence, climb into that dog house, and do whatever. Whatever it takes. I don't know why that's a... Yeah, hell yeah. I might kill 10 million puppies for $10 million. Jesus Christ. If I could work out a system to be super efficient, I might kill 10 million puppies for $10 million. I don't know why that's an issue, dude. The only thing keeping the people in my chat alive is no one's offered me $10 million to hunt them down and kill them. Okay? If you think you have enemies, you might not want to put any information in chat. Okay? Jesus Christ. $10 million. Threaten me with a good time. It'd be raining puppy blood. Okay, on to this. Damn, there's a lot of posts. Hey, guys, this is Dr. Z and Scriptkeeper. Really worried about Goodline TV. He's saying he tried. He's tired and broken and can't finish the film. Just kidding. Pedo hunters are not fucking pussies. The film is finished, and so is Phildo. Got him. Griffith Trash Scripts. So they knew Galowski paid for bot followers' views. Would George Magazine have considered it? Probably. They wanted to make money with that ad. Now my mods are second-guessing all the information they gave to me and any enemies they might have. That's all right. You'll never see me coming. It'd be quick. Script Keepers battle rap. Let's go. That's what I want to do. I want to go over to Rumble. And then I want to go on Rumble. I want to go home. And then I want to go Zalosophy for all. Is that what it is? Yeah. And then I want to hear some of Script Keeper's battle rap. Okay, it doesn't seem to be there. Is he not friends with them anymore? Where are all these? Hello, I want to hear some battle rap from Malibu's Most Wanted. His battle raps, bro. Uh-oh, looks like there's been some change-ups here. Is this a battle rap? Let's battle, baby. The voice of reason. Z was kicked out. It's because he supports Scott McKay so strongly. Suckling from that Scott McKay teat. Got him kicked out. Nick doesn't like Scott anymore. Even though the first thing that brought them attention from Phil was Z saying that he talked to Scott McKay, and Scott McKay said Phil was a pedo. And then Scott McKay called him during the show, and it's like, what the fuck are you doing? Don't mention my fucking name ever again. Ever. It was very interesting. Very interesting. You can even hear some of it in the phone call, which is crazy. I want some battle raps. Dr. Z, Dan, Radio Style, Patriots, Behind the Mic. I don't see any battle raps. I see this one, but it won't load for whatever reason. Mad Dog Mike's Online Self-Defense Class #1. The Art of the Whore Part 2. Where was Part 1? Oh, right here. The Art of the Whore, Phil Godlewski Exposed. And then there should have been like a bunch of rap things, right? Mock Me, I'm the Gayest. That's one. It's got to be one, but nothing will fucking load. What's going on? Oh, this one loaded. Okay, here we go.
Mock me, I'm the gayest. Do it.
Do it.
Hey.
Hey! need some echo.
The bag right from the top. Telling the ladies lies, banging swingers wise. But I'd rather be at home between a teenager's thighs. I'm the gayest and the lamest, a statutory rapist. My penis, not the greatest. Mock me, I'm the gayest. Driving fancy cars, hanging out at bars. Take a hooker to the alley, but I cannot get hard. My dick very shameless. My homes are the greatest. My fans are so brilliant. Mock me, I'm the gayest. I'm the gayest, I'm the gayest. I'm the gayest, I'm the gayest, I'm the gayest. I'm the gayest, I'm the gayest, I'm the gayest. Oh, I'm the gayest.
Oh man, they really ruined a good song too. They ruined a good song. That's I'm a Player by Tech Nine, right?
Aaron D. Gates was born.
Yeah.
1985, Aaron wrote his first
I'm a player, I'm a player, I'm a player.
1990, Tech Nine teams with producer Icy Rock Craven.
1997, Tech
We're gonna get copyright strikes tonight.
1999, Tech is released from the label.
2002, Tech and Strange Music teams with MSC Entertainment and records.
I'm a player, I'm a player, I'm a player.
If you see me looking clean cut, matching from head to toe, dipping with
And the mean
truck,
truck.
throwing and blowing green stuff, hella creamed up with the bling cup. Ain't no
I used to know the words of this.
if you blew up beamed up. If you see me step off in the club or with some pros, with about 6 of them cut, no longer waiting to be chosen. If you hear me tell my homies anything goes, with these chickens dipping through Davies right when the clubber closed. If you see me on the grind, getting mine. If you bustin' room and find me hitting yours from behind. If you hear me bustin' rhymes, ripping each and every time. If I got it at capacity, yet you still got a line. If I'm rolling on dubs, if it's K-Town bud, if they showing me love with a red rug at the club. If you see them haters giving me mugs, ladies giving me hugs. No, it ain't no rocket science, it's because
They really ruined a good song too. That was a good song.
Come on and fuck me, I'm the gayest, I'm the gayest, I'm the gayest. I'm the gayest, I'm the gayest, I'm the gayest. I'm the gayest, I'm the gayest, I'm the gayest. Oh, I'm the gayest. I like underage girls, I like to travel the world. Carrie gets her curl, my fist fires some pearls. This
Carrie gets her hair curled. That was one of the lines was Carrie gets her hair curled.
the shame in my brain, my decoys so very lame. Monetizing my fame is my #1 game. My crimes are the cleanest, my brain not the keenest. Peter
Dude, who let Uncle Bad Touch on the internet? What the fuck is this? He brags about how gay his nephew is. Are you sure you didn't contribute? This is giving off some of those vibes.
hunters are the meanest. Did I say you hate my penis? Like sex on the side, sometimes I have it with guys. You could say I'm not the straightest. Come on and mock me, I'm the gayest. I'm the gayest, I'm the gayest. I'm the gayest.
What twacked it?
I'm the gayest. I'm the gayest, I'm the gayest, I'm the gayest. Oh, I'm the gayest.
He was proud of this moment.
My crimes are the cleanest.
He was proud of his like dance and rubbing his. He was proud of
My brain
this.
not the keenest. Pedo hunters are the meanest. Did I say you hate my penis? Like sex on the side, sometimes I have it with guys. You could say I'm not the straightest. Come on and mock me, I'm the gayest. I'm the gayest, I'm the gayest. I'm the gayest, I'm the gayest, I'm the gayest. I'm the gayest, I'm the gayest, I'm the gayest.
Why does he keep rubbing his face?
Oh, I'm the gayest. Come on and mock me, I'm the gayest. I'm the gayest, I'm the gayest. I'm the gayest, I'm the gayest, I'm the gayest. I'm the gayest, I'm the gayest, I'm the gayest. Oh, I'm the gayest. Come on and mock me, I'm the gayest.
Really ruined a good song there.
I'm the gayest.
Oh, let's see what this one is. It's called
Hey,
Pedo.
Pildo, wake up, kid. It's the ghost of Pedo past. I gotta tell you something.
I'm a pedophile and I'm suing everybody.
This is his character he plays, Old School Bobby, and says, At least I play a character I tell people, not like Will, who's got that fake accent.
Proving you're a whore, but fame and fortune has a price. Very nice dream, well I suppose it's a scary vice. With the grip to the left and the grip to the right, you flash that queer tattooed chest.
That queerer tattooed chest.
It's a scary vice. With the grip to the left and
Why did we not watch these, dude? Why did we not watch these?
the grip to the right, you flash that queer tattooed.
You flash that queerer tattooed chest.
Chest. You think you're
I'm gonna burn a CD and just slip it into Mariah's car and then break the buttons so I can't turn it off.
special and you lie like you're the best. His name is Pito, his lies stick to you like sand. Just check his Twitter and you'll see his dick in hand. And Scranton Times just proved his cheating ways was planned. Oh, Pito, yes, from school.
You just have to be in that mindset where nothing else matters except Phil. That's all you think and live and breathe and eat and see, and all day long talking about what Phil orders when he goes out to eat and what his gas mileage is on his car as they calculate his weight in grams to enjoy any of this.
Yachty is banned.
I can't believe I spent all day trolling him with just comments from his own video and he had no idea. That was so funny. He's like, I knew. I was just trying to keep the heat off Nick because he's had a hard week.
I seen you be a bitch, and I seen you be greedy.
They already broke up.
Go to the gay bars. Okay, you have to be like a birthday orgy with 10 dudes. But then I'm sure that you'll blow, and they do too.
Very good. I want to clap right now before it's even over.
His name is Pito, his lies stick to you like sand. Just check his Twitter and you'll see his dick.
Why is he... He's got to stop holding his dick. People are going to think he holds it like that until Scott McKay calls.
In hand. And Scranton Times just proved his cheating ways was planned. Oh, Pito.
Nick Alvear used the Brunson Brothers song in his Brunson Brothers documentary.
Pito, yes,
That is like cringeception.
from school, Yachty is banned.
I don't know why. I mean, I don't know why he'd have to make sure his dick's still. It's either there, or in Nick's mouth. You got a pretty penis. Gulp. He's probably definitely the coolest guy at his fucking Illuminati fucking Mason meeting. Did he just jump off a box? What is that for? Look at him. Don't get the box in the camera. Look at it jump so high. Oops.
Hey now, ooh, look at that. Did he really run you down? At the end of the drive, the lawman arrived. Cut your fans on. Alive, alive, alive. You take a chance, cause greed is on your side or something. Your Kool-Aid to drinking. I tell you something, your Kool-Aid to drinking. His name is Pino, his lies stick to you like sand. Just check his Twitter and you'll see his big hand. And Scranton Times just proves his cheating ways was planned. Oh, Pino, yes, from school, Yahtzee is banned. His name is Pino, he's a gross, disgusting man. And you might find him creepy, lurking in the stands. Oh, Pino, hear the doubts from his dumb fans. He steals your money, biggest clown in all the land.
Very good. They call themselves the Fildo Fagans Fan Club. They call themselves the Fildo Fagans Fan Club.
You got knocked the fuck out! Ah.
Did he? He got knocked out. It's just a lot, okay, chat? It's a lot to behold. Where's the battle? I want the battle rap. The hardcore battle rap. I've listened to their Phil Godlewski wants to screw young girls. I've heard that one. That's got the he's on a mission and Carrie's in the kitchen. That was here it is. Hold on. Wait till you hear the rap solo. The rap solo. They won so much. They won everything. They basically won the world. Play, you piece of shit. It's taking so long to load everything. That's why Carrie's bitching. She lives in a mitten and bakes in the kitchen. It's very good. It's basically fucking drill music, right? It probably competes with like Young Jock. 2009 Young Jock, okay? I'm hitting and can't be missing. My cat's name is Mittens. It's very good. It gives old Eminem vibes. Nothing wants to load. Let's get on my nerves. Burt Lynch been live? Burt Lynch is so devastated that we keep making fun of him so much. He's refused to go live until he has a house and a studio. He will no longer be going live from his hotel rooms because he's scared we're going to find him. That's basically the story. Doesn't want to do it. Never again. He's checked out. He's done. It's over. Come on, load. I want to hear this one now. You got me excited for the rap solo. That's the best part. Oh. Jesus, why is it taking so? It does load, but it just took forever earlier, and I guess it's taking forever now as well. My internet's not that slow. I'm still broadcasting at 5,000 kilobits per second. 0 drop frames for 2 hours, 17 minutes, and I'm using 7% of my CPU. I only broadcast at 1080 30. But yeah. Now it's gonna start all over. There it goes. All I do is refresh it once. Here we go. Get ready. I'm so excited. Wait for the rap solo. The rap solo is it.
Damn it.
Here we go, boys. And they're dancing in the car. It's just amazing. So good.
Welcome to Phil's life. It's so fucking whack.
It's whack.
Everywhere he creeps, you will find him acting.
They rented an Airbnb to do this.
Nature, pedo hunters catching rapers. Phil Godlewski wants to screw young girls.
Just wait. It's coming. He's riding on his cell phone.
Holding hairline, his dumb fake reports, kids at his bedside,
Embarrassment.
while he steals the most of senior cash and savings, believing his mental ravings. Phil Godlewski wants to scam the world. There's a room where your crimes will find you. Running scans.
He's trying really hard right here.
On the land down. When they do, you'll be a flight risk, mind you. So glad you've almost made it. So sad you're so degraded. Phil Godlewski wants to scam.
He does. He looks like he's like the show 2.5 Men. He looks like he's like giant beside them, doesn't he? He's too thick to fit. Oh, wait. We missed part of it. God damn it. Stop distracting me. He's always faking. He's always a pagan. Just wait.
Almost faded. So sad you're so degraded. Phil Godlewski.
Here we go. Get ready.
Pedo the pagan, he's always been faking. Ode to Jesus, he's fronting like Beavis. Online scamming these federal seizures. Grifted his wealth, it pays for his leisure. When the boys come around, he's claiming amnesia. Phil G, he's scamming and leeching. Nobody believes what you're teaching. Hide your kids, PG's creeping. Can't take the heat in the kitchen. That's why Carrie's always bitching.
Can't take the hit in the kitchen. That's why Carrie's always bitching. Favorite cat, his name is Mittens. It's very good.
G, he's scamming and leeching. Nobody believes what you're teaching. Hide your kids, PG's creeping. Can't take the heat in the kitchen. That's why Carrie's always bitching. Fibonacci exaggeration. It's Liberace and his defamation.
That's me. That's an actual image of me. I was featured. I'm just going to say that. It should say featuring Will Bird, Cold Beer Confessional. Thank you.
I can't stand your pedophilia. No kids want to be so near ya. Phil Godlewski wants to screw young girls. Say that you'll never bring kids. Fake headlines, why deceive it? Phil Godlewski wants to screw young girls.
Got him.
Faking freedom for gay pleasure, getting paid while wearing leather. Phil Godlewski wants to screw young girls.
Is Nick hair-lipped? What's going on over there? What is going on with that upper? What is? This is not a good filter for you, Nick. What it? And somehow it blurred out the center of your forehead. While wearing leather. Sing along, chat.
Wants to screw young
That's perfect, bro. That's perfect, bro. Malibu's Most Wanted. Paige is creeping, that's sleeping. He's always pagan. That rap solo. We're going to listen to the rap solo again. I hope you know
Pedo to pagan, he's always been faking. Odin to Jesus, he's fronting like Beavis. Online scamming, these federal seizures. Grifted his wealth, it pays for his leisure. When the boys come around, he's claiming amnesia. Phil G, he's scamming and leeching. Nobody believes what you're teaching. Hide your kids, PG's creeping. Can't take the heat in the kitchen. That's why Carrie's always bitching. Fibonacci exaggeration, it's Liberace and his defamation.
Fibonacci exaggeration. It's Liberace defamation. Very good.
Grifted his wealth, it pays for his leisure. When the boys come around, he's claiming amnesia.
None of these people are married, but imagine if they were, right? Imagine if they weren't confirmed bachelors who get an Airbnb to make a music video about a guy online.
So sad, you're so degraded.
He probably started this in the summer of 2007. Seems like he's worked on it a while.
Pedo to pagan, he's always been faking. Odin to Jesus, he's fronting like Beavis. Online scamming, these federal seizures.
Does he say fronting like Beavis? Pedo to pagan, he's always been faking. Odin to Jesus, he's fronting like Beavis. Online scamming, these federal seizures. Grifted his wealth, it pays for his leisure. When the boys come around, he's claiming amnesia. Phil G, he's scamming and leeching. Nobody believes what you're teaching. Hide your kids, PG's creeping. Can't take the heat in the kitchen. That's why Carrie's always bitching. Fibonacci exaggeration. It's Liberace and defamation. Somebody call Interscope.
Grifted his wealth, it pays for his leisure. When the boys come around, he's claiming amnesia. Phil G, he's scamming and leeching. Nobody believes what you're teaching. Hide your kids, PG's creeping. Can't take the heat in the kitchen. That's why Carrie's always bitching.
I wonder why he never made it in his music career. I mean, he'll tell you he did, and then the Cabal or something, but I wonder why he never actually did.
Fibonacci exaggeration.
This is not as good as Stu Peters and his rap. Just be honest with you. Stu Peters' song gets stuck in your head after you listen to it, at least.
It's Liberace and his defamation.
That's me. Actually me. Menthols. That's a pretty good instrumental break.
I can't stand your pedophilia. No kids want to be
so near ya.
Phil Godlewski wants to screw young girls. Say that you'll never read kids. Fake headlines. Why?
Did he say that you'll never ream kids? Yes.
Deceived. Phil Godlewski wants to screw
Wow, this is bad, dude. Script Keeper and Nick are still apparently friends or some shit.
Pleasure getting paid while wearing leather. Phil Godlewski wants to screw young girls.
Summer Lovin'. They ought to do a duet, Summer Lovin'. That'd be pretty good. I was looking at Scripps' page to see if he doesn't even have any of his raps posted. Eclipse to remind us of Jesus and his sacrifice, he says. He doesn't even have any of his rap. I mean, he has some live streams on here and some Cuomo, Vax Pusher, car fights and canteens, Gen X video. He has like, let's say this one's just called Gen X. He has TikTok videos on there and live streams. That's about it.
How to kill all mosquitoes.
Well, at least he's got
in
ads.
just minutes. This simple
Hell,
but
Z didn't even have
brilliant
ads
trick
on
you
his
can do
shit.
tonight to eliminate all mosquitoes around you is taking the U.S.
I'm Richard Karn, and I love my hose. My
No,
hose
you're
is
Al.
lightweight.
Oh no.
My hose will
Richard Karn, my ass.
Here's a list of a few more messed up things that make Generation X the toughest generation ever. Elementary school and middle school edition. Number 5, we would make our parents ashtrays in art class. That's right, your little 8-year-old or 9-year-old self was...
So he's just uploading other people's
ashtray.
content, I guess.
You couldn't wait to get home and give that ashtray to your parents and sit beside them while they lit up and you inhaled all that glorious secondhand smoke. And if you were really good, you picked up your parents a pack of cigarettes on the way home so they could smoke that new pack of cigarettes with their new ashtray. Because children could buy cigarettes back in the 70s.
I remember running to the store to buying cigarettes for my mom, but I'm not as old as they are. But when I was like old enough to go in the store by myself, I don't know, like 10 through like 13, I would go buy cigarettes. They'd be like, "Are these for you?" Like joking. I'd be like, "My mom's in the car," and they'd sell them to me.
In early 90s. Subsequently, a lot of us were chain smokers by the time we were 12. Number 4, it's been said before, but it bears repeating.
So it's just someone else's shit.
Punishment. Generations.
He just uploaded someone else's video. I don't think he knows how content works.
But it could have happened.
Oh my God. I don't know what he just said about the compass. I don't know what he just said about the compass. I took drafting in high school and I really liked it. I took non-digital draft. I did take a class of like on the computer, like CAD drafting, but I took mechanical drafting on a drafting table and all that shit at a competition. It was called VICA, Vocational Institute Classes of America or something like that. Anyways, we had competitions, right? One year I was in like all the competitions. I did carpentry and welding and auto mechanic. I did all of them. And drafting was one of them. And I was set. Oh, let me get out my drawing board. Okay. I got to tell you, I don't think I've ever told this story on the stream. That compass just reminded me of it. Okay, so at this competition, there was... Switch color. There was... The desks were set 4x4. So there was 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And there was 1, 2, and they're big drafting tables, okay? They are big drafting tables. Like, they tilt up towards you like kind of like an easel, and they've got like a floating arm on them that you set your scale on to use it as like a straight edge, and you measure your scale, whatever scale you're drawing on. So like if you're drawing 1/4 scale or whatever, there's a scale for it. So they were set like this, and there were 4 rows of them, but the last row wasn't occupied. There were 11 of us in here, okay? I was sitting right here. This is me. It kind of sucks. This is me, okay? I was sitting right here. There was a girl, a female, let's call her girl 1, sitting here. And the person that was with me, my classmate, was here. And I had another classmate, I think, that was here. I can't remember that part. There was another girl 2, that was sitting here. Girls actually do really good in non-digital drafting because they're usually better about handwriting and like being nicer. It's all about, you draw it just like it looks like it come off a computer. Like they'll give you like a car part to draw and all the dimensions, and you draw it from like a front angle, top angle, side angle, and then a perspective drawing where you use lines to show what the perspective would be. That doesn't have to be super accurate, but all the other ones do. All the measurements have to be perfect and shit. And you don't write on it, you do lettering. So they teach you how to write the alphabet in a different way so you don't bring your bad habit. Like if I had to write an M like I just did, I write my M like this. Right? Those motions, well, the one last time was backwards, but like this. M, right? They teach you to write in a different way so you don't bring your bad habits in it. Like if you want to write an M, a capital M in lettering, depending on how you learn, you might start like at the center point and do like this line this way, and then this line this way, and then maybe you start from the bottom here. So you don't bring your bad habits in it, and you slow down, and you like you have to be real precise. They grade you on your lettering, on how clean your lines are, how thick they are, how accurate the measurements were. Like it's really crazy. But anyways, girl 2 says, "Oh no, I forgot to bring my compass." Okay, so girl 2 here says, "Oh no, I forgot to bring my compass." Girl 1 they're from the same school, okay? They're from the same school. Didn't sit beside each other. I don't know if they got there late or what, but they weren't beside each other. Says, "Don't worry, I've got one." And in my head, I looked up. We weren't really, it wasn't like you couldn't talk. It's not really you can cheat on drawing. Like we have the measurements. You don't have to like do math or anything. So they asked us to remain quiet, but you could speak. Says, "Don't worry, I got one." And when they were talking, I looked up. And when the girl 1 says, "I got one," I looked over at her. And she had the compass in her hand. Okay, the compass he just showed. Right? Got a pencil on one side and a pen on the other. And this pen is usually super sharp, and so is the pencil. In drafting, you have to have super fucking sharp pencils so you don't get fat lines, right? And I looked up, and I saw her say, "Don't worry, I've got mine." And she held it up like this, and then she went and flipped it at her. She threw it. And literally, while she was going like this, I was going, "No!" and like reaching for it. So, the drafting arms we had, let's do this. Let's do a new layer. And then we'll dump black on it. That's fine. Then we'll switch to white. Then we'll go paintbrush. So the drafting arms that we had, like imagine the table's kind of elevated. So let's say we got, I need to swap. So let's say we got one. I'm going to draw a desk, or try to, from like a sideways perspective. So this is the desk, right? And then there would be the last leg would be like over here, but you wouldn't see the desk. They're elevated on an angle. So even though this square would be like a flat desk, our things are elevated, right? So they're like leaned up to you, kind of like an art easel. So it would go across here and down. Now the drafting arms are mounted on this corner, and when you're not using it, if you put it in its home position, it'll be a big ass arm like this, a big right angle arm up here, and the arm goes like out, has like a joint in it, and then comes back, And that's so it kind of floats on your table. You move it around. Once you set it to where it's square with your paper, you slide it all around and it doesn't really move, right? And the arm's like way out here. So then there would be another desk that would be like right here, right? This is another desk, and it's tilted as well, right? Like that. And there's a third leg and the last leg. So this arm kind of sticks out in between the desks. That's why you don't walk in between the desks. It's actually a big deal. You can, when we go back to this other layer, you can walk as much as you want, like through here, right? Oh, I'm on layer 2 still. On the wrong layer. There we go. You can walk as much as you want, like through here, like, and then through here, as long as you don't bump somebody's chair, right? But you never walk this way through the tables because there you set your arm, like one of the biggest things to do to get your whole drawing square to the paper is you tape your paper down that you're drawing on, right? And you set your arm square to it and draw your border around your paper, and you never adjust your arm again. Like if you need to draw a 45-degree angle, you like loosen it, put it on 45 degrees, but you never set 0 again. You go and set so if you do this, it's got, like I said, it's got a big fucking arm on it. That's like a big right angle. So you have this that's hooked to that arm. A big square, right? Oh, shit. A big square. And your paper is perfectly square to that when you tape it down. So this is the paper you're drawing on here. So you will have like a border box. And then you have like a title box down here in the corner that says what you're drawing, your name, and shit like that. It'll have like writing in it. But this right here is square to this, so you never adjust it. So you don't want to walk in between the tables because you could bump somebody's arm and knock it out of adjustment, and they got to start, and it's a time test. So this arm right here on this one would have been over here kind of in the way, bent weird, and his square is like sitting here. So when she throws it from here to here, let's go to red. When she throws it from here to here, it flies through the air. I'm like, no. It goes over this guy's head, hits his arm. The other girl looked, and when she threw it, she turned her head, which was probably good, right? She turned her head away from it. So it goes here, bounces off this arm, hits the elevated desk at just the right angle, bounces back, and hits this girl in her eye. In her fucking eyeball, chat. In her fucking eyeball. And it's not even clean through her eyeball. It's down this way, and she grabs it on her face. It's through her eyelid, through her eyeball. It's in her eyeball. So immediately, I rush over there. There's a couple teachers and a couple graders in there. We all rush over there or whatever. They can't remove it because your eye's full of fluid, right? I don't know what happened to this girl. I swear to God, I have no idea. They take the compass apart, okay? So if we go back over here to this guy's video, ours had a screw. This one might too, on the back or something. Ours had a screw so you could set the compass depth and the pencil tape depth the same depths, right? Ours had a screw. They take the pin out, right? They calm her down somehow. They're like, she's not really, doesn't seem like she's in pain or nothing. They calm her down somehow. They release the thumb screw and pull the thing down. And I was at the front of her desk, and I swear to God, she looked right at me. And her eye moved and her eyelid pulled up, and the pen was like this. It goes, whoop, and it's her eye and her eyelid. And she looked right at me with it, pinned to her face. And then I can't remember if they told her to look down, right? Because that had it close. The angle it bounced at was basically like almost with her cheek, like it come in from the bottom. They tell her to look down. I think they ended up, I'm trying to remember, 2 people took her and they were holding her hands and asking her to look down, and they were basically guiding her. They're like, don't worry where you're going. We're not going to run into a wall. Just try to keep from moving your eyes. And I want to say they put tape on her face. Because remembering it now, I thought they put a bandage on her face, but that wouldn't make much sense. I think they took medical tape across her face and took her from that room so we could keep doing our test. And I watched her walk down the hall and shit and never saw her again. Now, I asked my drafting instructor, his name was Rusty. His first name was Rusty. I asked him what happened, and he said there was a big deal. They called an ambulance. I don't remember. I think I remember the ambulance couldn't get there quick enough. Some staff from her school took her in a car to the local hospital because we weren't even in our home city, right? We went to a competition that was like not our home city. Usually they were like down in Nashville or whatever. I want to say that I remember them. It wasn't like they wrapped it around her head like a mummy, but I remember them putting a bandage or tape or something. They taped it to her eye, and then they called an ambulance, and then something happened. The ambulance took too long or something. They threw her in her car and took her. And I hope that they were able to repair that, but I have no idea. Can you repair that? We were in high school. I wasn't old enough to drive yet at this competition. I think it was 15 maybe. We were in high school, but damn, she was probably older than I was. I was one of the youngest competitors for drafting from our school. But because it's not by grade level, right? It's all high school versus all high school. So she was probably older than I was. But I guess, can you repair that? I can't believe I haven't thought about that story in years. Probably since someone brought up a compass before. It was hard to tell how deep it was buried or anything because it was just like all I remember seeing the end of it. It could have just barely been in there. It could have been completely in there. I have no idea, but this is crazy. It was just wild. And then we had to finish the test. And girl 1 felt so bad, she quit. So after she apologized and stuff, she did sit down back at her desk and like was just sitting there kind of like crying, which was a major distraction for me. Bitch, I'm trying to win. Stop making whimpering noises and shit. And then I remember her just ripping her paper. Like you tape your paper down and you have to be really careful not to rip the corners when you pull the tape off the mat. And I remember just like grabbing her paper, ripping it off, throwing it in the trash and walking out. And the instructor just kind of looked at her. But of course she felt bad. You know what I mean? But I forgot about that. That's wild. I'm assuming, I guess the only good thing about it is when it bounced, she grabbed it. Because they're not lot. So the better ones, like this is for like kids. This one that you're seeing here. Let's do this. Let's do the other ones. The better ones are usually pretty heavy. And they keep you from like accidentally lifting it or whatever. Drafting compass. They keep you from lifting it. They're a lot heavier. And we use pretty good ones. I guess the good thing is, like I said, she grabbed it. And it was a compass. We had dividers too. It wasn't dividers. Dividers just don't have a pencil on them. They just got 2 points like this. But see how, oh, you can't see that. Hold on. This is how small our points were on our compass. So it wasn't like that one that I just showed you where it's super long, but still it goes up in there a pretty good ways. But this is how small our points were, and they're super accurate once you set them. They're not like the kids' version with like the big arm where you just slide it to the degrees you want. You set this on your scale and set it out point to point. It's razor sharp pen, razor sharp pencil because you want really thin lines. But like, yeah, ours were pretty heavy. So I'm assuming if she wouldn't have like grabbed it and held it to her face screaming, it might have just fell back out and leaked out. So eyeball fluid is not super fluidy, I guess. I've seen eyeball fluid in like busted eyeballs and shit. It's more like liquid jello. It's like gelatinous kind of. Like it'll still run. It doesn't like if you pop your eye, it doesn't just sit there like jello you buy at the store. It'll still run out, but it's very like oozy, nasty, like thicker than like an egg yolk. but not as thick as Jell-O, I guess. But I'm assuming like that would have been worse if if it would have fell out. I don't know. Anyways, they taped it in, and I guess she got a trip to the hospital. But I haven't even thought about. I wish I knew her name. I wonder if she's ever told people that story. She's like, this dumb bitch. I said, I forgot my compass, and she just fucking chucked one at me. I remember it was like after something like that happens, you feel like you saw it in slow motion. You're like replaying in your head, and you're like, this happened, that happened. So I think I'm remembering it decently accurate, but still, I don't know. That's wild. I haven't thought about that in forever from fucking high school, dude. Anyways, guys, thanks for having me relive some memories, I guess. Some bad ones, some good ones. Shout out to the rapping elderly. There will always be a special place in my heart for dementia-riddled seniors who also write their raps on an iPhone. Thank you guys for joining us. I'm Will Bird. This is Cold Beer Confessional. Support the show while offline if you want to. Tomorrow, Patreon, no matter what. No matter what I say, no matter how late I start. Sorry, we're doing Patreon tomorrow. I do have a secret project I'm working on to release on the Cold Beer Creations channel. If you're not subscribed, please go subscribe there and consider supporting the show while we're offline at coldbeer.fund, coldbeer.fund, where you can make a contribution to the show to help keep it going if that's your thing, if it's within your budget. We appreciate it. If not, we'll see you on the next one. I did get a donation earlier today. Best wishes to the Bird family. Sure hope things pick up for you, Will. You're so needed in this upside-down world. I will always support you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you for the donation. And we'll see everybody on the next one. Have a good night.
But I can tell you this about if this douchebag happens to see this particular show.
I may or may not be producing
the people on this planet.
A guillotine.
Tell them exactly who they are.
Gun.
You don't
For a certain reptile problem we're having. Just saying. Just saying. Could be the coolest video of the summer.
Listen off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss them off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. And they say that I'm a lunatic. Well, listen, bitch, I came equipped with a quick wit and a 6th sense for the stupid shit. Where my true believer? Y'all need Jesus. Praise the Lord, and to the extreme. All these false fucking prophets who profit off of gossip. Worshipping drums, cocking, begging for a throat deposit. Swinging fucking meat hammers like Thor in a thong. He's strapped to the shaft, eating his chest like he's King Kong.
Shout out to Kathy H. Kathy H, baby Hitler. Somebody post a Bart real quick.
People, alien sex. What's next? Trump in a dress, fucking Flynn on his desk. A retard in a vest, climbing up 5G towers. Cause you told him if he did, he'd get fucking superpowers.
There we go.
Here we go, I think.
Bart.
Shit. Piss him off, it's about to get lit. Get the
Why is your profile picture weird food? What's going on there?
up, cause you ain't seen none yet.
I'm about to ban you at Sicko.
Started some shit. Piss him off, it's about to
Some weird Chinese shit.
place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. I used to find clues too when I was high on shrooms. I found myself a tunnel that led to Jason Q's bedroom. Open his closet, I found some of his meat rockets. I strapped it to my shoes and then I flew through the roof.
I knew it'd be Chinese. Ooh, that's creepy.
High on amphetamine with trumpet.
He's tugging a tentacle.
Coat of baby oil and saluted the troops. He tapped me on the shoulder and said, "This is gonna be it." Whoa, wait. Stop. What? What? I'll get my files. Wait, what are you doing? It's it. Stop. Hold on. Fucking stop. Dude, come on. Seriously. My mom's an alcoholic. Oh, give me a... Oh, my God. Damn it. Here we go. I think I started some
Good night, guys. Yes, Chinese. The tentacles tugging Bart.
You better up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go. I think I started some shit.